What's up everyone, how are you all? Today we are back with another amazing Naruto story. What if Banished Naruto used 4 ancient masks to destroy Konoha after everyone betrayed him? If you enjoy then please like, share and do comments, and also check the description box to original creator of this beautiful creation. Everyone in the village are heading to the center of Konoha where they will witness the sealing of the Kyuubi inside Mito Uzumaki Namikaze, also known as the Demon's Sister. They were screaming in joy knowing that the Yondaime Hokage is back alive and with his wife and daughter who will be treated as a princess for carrying the demon in her. In the center of the ceremony is Naruto tied to the table with emotionless eyes as he looks in the sky. Naruto POV. Only a little more time then the plan will begin and I'll escape to find the elementals. Kyuubi said that I must go to Tetsu no Kuni and find a cave, that's where I'll find them. Just wait, it's almost time. No one POV. Minato comes out with the Hokage robes with Kushina and Mito. All of them are smirking knowing that Konoha will be the strongest village. Everyone in the village is cheering for them. Minato. Ladies and gentlemen. Today we will take the Kyuubi from this monster and it will be seeded into my daughter who will be treated as a hero for carrying the Kyuubi. Everyone began cheering knowing that they will finally kill the demon and avenge their loved ones. Minato. Now let's begin the sealing ceremony. The minute Minato begins the sealing, something unexpected happens. There were seals appearing out of nowhere and it was all over the village. From homes, to stores, and even the Hokage monument, each head had seals there except for the Sandaime head. Minato. What's going on? Jiraiya. Those seals look familiar, but what? He and Minato began to look closely at the sides, including Kushina, Mito, and Tsunade. Minato. Wait a minute, they're paper bomb seals. Everyone get BAC explosions. Minato, Jiraiya, Kushina, Mito, and Tsunade were screaming in pain as the seals burned their face a bit. Explosions have happened all over Konoha, even the table where Naruto was tied to was into pieces, which was a chance to escape. He began to use Kyuubi's chakra to improve his stamina and made his way to the gate's hell, even used his claws and killed a few civilians that were trying to stop him. As he got out of the village he looked back and saw lots of smoke and hear lots of people screaming. He was finally free from his hell and he couldn't be happy, but he made a vow. Naruto. Just you wait, Konoha, your destruction will come and I'll be the one destroy and everyone in it, including my family. Asterisk remembers the Sandaime smiling at him. I'm sorry Gigi, but I have to do this for the elemental countries and Konoha must be destroyed. He made his way to a town and decided to rest there for a while, but he need to start moving soon or Konoha nins will be coming after him. He went into a shop to get some new clothes to get rid of his shitty jumpsuit. He now wears a black sleeveless shirt with a black Anbu pants with many pockets, black ninja sandals, white fingerless gloves with metal plates, a fox Anbu mask, and a white cloak so he can blend in with the snow since Kyuubi told him that it gets very cold in Tetsu no Kuni. He then went to the supply section and got a few things. He even bought claws that the demon brothers use on the mission to wave. He then left as he paid for it with the money stole from the civilians he killed. What he is wearing minus the cape thing on his pants and the armor on the right shoulder. Replace the claws on the pick with these claws. Naruto put on his mask and decided to walk around a bit. Luckily it was night time and there was less people outside. As he walked he heard from a few guys that there will be a boat heading to Tetsu no Kuni, so he decided to sneak in on board to the boat and wait for it to set sail. Since he will have to wait until they are within Tetsu no Kuni, he decided to eat a few food pills to rebuild his strength. He decided to talk to the Kyuubi for a bit to get more information on the elementals. Naruto POV. I began to walk to the Kyuubi, but I decided to change the background of my mind from a sewer to a forest with a waterfall with sakura blossom trees and a bright sky. I then saw Kyuubi laying down on the grass with a collar, so it must be the seal. Naruto. Hey Kyuubi, I need more information about the elementals so I can be prepared for them. Kyuubi. Okay, ask away. Naruto. How strong are these masks? Kyuubi. Those 4 have the same amount of power to all 9 bijus. Naruto. Shit, this will be a bit difficult to talk to them. Okay, what kind of elemental powers do they have and kind of spirit they are? Kyuubi. The earth elemental can control earthquakes and landslides but is easily quick to anger. The water elemental can control water, create balls of ice and energy waves, but he has a military personality. The air elemental can control the forces of wind, lighting, and the atmosphere. He can create electricity and lasers at will, yet he is a joker and quite arrogant. The fire elemental is very dangerous and the leader of the elementals. He can create extremely hot fire and lava, so don't piss him off since he'll erupt like a volcano and kill us all. The scary part about him is that he is sometimes calm until he's tempted. Naruto. It seems that they have their personalities, so talking to them will be quite tricky, including the fire one. I need to be careful on what I am going to say. No one POV. After the talk with the Kyuubi, they made it to Tetsu no Kuni. Naruto began to put on his mask and put his cloak up, then start walking to the cave where the mask might be hibernating in. As he walks, he begins to wonder how things are going back at Konoha. Probably raising hell. As he continues to walk, his mouth made a foxy grin and believed that he will destroy it when he returns. Back at Konoha, Minato is in his office with his family and the two Sanins. All of them have at least a burn mark on their face. After Naruto's escape, the whole village was damaged when the seals began to appear. When they made their way to the cell to figure out how he escaped, and they found the guard dead with a throat slit. They then realized that he had no chakra seals on him because they believed that he was dumb as shit. That mistake will haunt them to their graves because they had one chance to do this and yet it failed because of that. Minato and the rest of them are at his office trying to find a way to capture him, but they don't know where he could be, though they all made a vow. Once we find you, demon, you will be Konoha's weapons and make sure the village is the best. Though that vow will not what they accepted to be. Naruto POV. After the talk with Kyuubi, I used a bit of his chakra to help me sense the elementals since they have enormous power. I need to be calm in order to talk with them without angering any of them, especially the fire elemental. If they are going to help me, I need to negotiate a good deal for the both of us. As I was walking, I felt a small amount of powers, which means I'm following the right trail. Naruto. Hopefully this trail will lead me to them. Kurama. Don't worry, kid, I remember the scent, so I know if we're on the trail or not. Naruto. Guessing on how low the trail, I'll be able to get to the cave in 5 hours. Kurama. I could lend you more of my chakra, but it will cost huge pressure on your body. Naruto. Thanks, but this is enough for now. I don't plan on fighting the elementals. Kurama. That is true, hopefully you know what you're doing. Naruto. Me too, Kurama, me too. No one POV. After Naruto's escape, things were settling down back at Konoha, but there were still damages that will take a lot of money and help, but that won't happen. There were many spies that were around during the attack, and this shocked them greatly. The Yondaime Hokage is alive along with his wife and daughter, and the Jinchuriki was his own son. He would use his own children as a way to keep Konoha strong. After the attack, the spies returned to their villages and soon word got out on what happened. Many of the treaties have been broken with them, which caused them to lose lots of clients. The only village that still have a contract with is Suna, but it's still very complicated. Minato's POV. Things have been looking bad with the village ever since that brat escaped from him. We've been losing lots of clients and our daimyo is furious about what happened. Luckily enough, he still will be able to give his funds, but he is still not happy on what we done, which means we are having a very difficult relationship. As I was in my thoughts, I saw that Jiraiya enter the room. Minato. Have you tracked him down yet? Jiraiya. No, the only lead we found was his old jumpsuit in a small town, but that's been there for a while now, meaning he's long gone already. Minato. Shit, not only have lost track him, we also lost the Kyuubi, meaning we are at a weak disadvantage compared to the other main villages. Jiraiya. True, I could have reversed summon him, but we already erased his name from the Toad summon scroll. Minato. If only Sarutobi would have turned him into a weapon, but he was too soft on him. Jiraiya. It's also partially your fault for faking your death, which caused him to take back the position of being Hokage again. Minato. I left to help train my daughter and make sure Kushina recovered after giving birth to them. Jiraiya. And how do you think that worked out for you? We had one and only one shot of this, and you did not check for any chakra seals on, which caused him to escape. Minato. And now because of this situation we have lost many treaties since Naruto is the reason they were formed in the first place. Even Suna is hating us since the case Cage is Naruto friend. Jiraiya. Not only that, but a new organization known as the Akatsuki will begin to search for the Jinchurikis. Since we had the Kyuubi, they'll probably come here for answers on his whereabouts. Minato. Damn it, I forgot them. They'll cause a big problem for us. Jiraiya. So what are we going to do? Minato. For now I want you to go out and keep searching for the Gaki and bring me any updates. Kushina and I will continue to train Mito along with Tsunade and Kakashi. The Uchiha is still recover, so we'll discuss him another time. I need to send some teams to a few villages so that they can change their mind about breaking the treaties with us. Jiraiya. Fine, but I guarantee that I won't bring back much information. With that said, he jumped out of the window and left to find any updates on Naruto. Naruto POV. After walking for a long time, I finally made it to the caverns. Thanks to Kurama's chakra, we were able to find the elementals' cave where they have been hibernating for centuries. Hopefully they will help him destroy Konoha and bring peace to the elemental countries. Naruto. So this is it, huh? Kurama. Yeah, this is the cave where they've been sleeping. Naruto. Let's not waste any more time then. With that being said, I head inside to the caves and begin walking to a single path. As I was walking, I begin to notice a lot of strange markings that were on the wall. I couldn't understand them, but I saw an image of a man that has purple eyes with 3 rings and a staff facing against 4 faces that has their own elements of fire, water, earth, and air. Kurama told me that the man is the Rikudo Sennin and the 4 faces are the elementals. After that I saw a wall made of bronze metal and saw the elementals in it with their eyes closed. Naruto. So this is them. Kurama. Yes, it is. I should warn you that once you awaken them you will feel a great amount of power that will leave on your knees. He warned me. Naruto. Thanks for the warning, so can you tell me the hand signs to awaken them? Kurama then began to tell me that hand signs and warned me again to be careful. Naruto. After series of hand signs *, release. After I said that, the wall began to crack and I noticed that the floor was shaking a lot. I saw pieces of bronze begin to fall and flows of massive energy began to flow around me. There were flows of red, blue, white, and orange energy that began to pour out. Next thing I knew, I see that the elementals' eyes begin to slowing open wide. Once they were open, the whole wall crumpled down and there they are all awakened and formed. Naruto. The elementals, I whispered slowly. Sunagakure. Shukaku POV. In Suna, the wind around the desert began to blow hard in the night, which the Suna nins began to take notice, especially a certain one-tailed tanuki. Shukaku. The wind of Sunagakure began to feel a bit hard. I wonder why. Kumogakure. Matabi POV. The village seemed to notice how the sky began to get darker and cloudy. There was lots of lighting around the clouds which made the people go inside wondering what's happening, including a 2-tailed cat. Matabi. Why does the sky feel darker all of a sudden? Kirigakure. Isobu POV. There was some heavy rain happening and the water began to feel different, that was noticed by a 3-tailed turtle. Isobu. I feel like I noticed a sudden change in the waters and the air, but why? Quote. Iwagakure. Son Goku POV. The earth began shaking for some apparent reason, which was noticed by a 4-tailed monkey and 5-tailed dolphin horse. Son Goku. Something is not right here. Kakuo POV. Kakuo. There is a strange amount of power that feel familiar, but what? Kirigakure. Seiken POV. The mist began to feel strange and the water is different for some reason, which was noticed by a 6-tailed slug. Seiken. This power feels a lot like them, but how is it here? Takigakure. Chome POV. There was a huge amount of rain that has been pouring out and the waterfall is coming down, which was noticed by a 7-tailed beetle. Chome. No, it can't be them. They were sealed for centuries, but how is their power here? Kumogakure. Gyuki POV. Lighting and thunder has been coming down from the clouds for some reason, which was noticed by an 8-tailed ox. Gyuki. My thoughts are correct. So it is them, but who has awakened them? All Biju. The elementals. No one POV. After doing the hand signs and the whole cave shaking, there in front of Naruto were the 4 most powerful beings. They are known as the legendary elementals. The 4 masks are wondering where they are or when they are. All they remember was fighting the Rikudo Sennin, then being sealing away for centuries in a cave. They then looked at a blond boy with whiskers marks on his face and a fox mask. "Who are you, kid, and where are we?" Quote, "All I remember was fighting a man with weird eyes, then being sealed." "Yeah, so did I. Same here. Naruto." "Hello there, elementals. My name is Naruto Uzumaki and you are in Tetsu no Kuni." "Why are we here, Uzumaki?" Quote, "Naruto. You are here because I have awakened you from your eternal slumber in order for us to make a deal with you." "Us?" Naruto. Hand sign asterisk, Kachiyose no Jutsu. In front of them were a certain Kyuubi from their past that they never forgotten. Kurama. "Hello there, elementals, been a while." "Oh, I remember you. You were with that old man along with your other siblings." Kurama. "That's right. I had Naruto here awaken you in order to make a deal with you for." "Oh, is that so? All right then, Uzumaki, what is this deal?" Naruto. "I heard from Kurama about your powers and how incredibly strong you are. I want to team up with you in order to destroy one of the nation's most powerful village, Konohagakure. Can you tell us the reason why you want to destroy that village?" Naruto then began to tell them the whole story from his birth, to his childhood, the mission to retrieve Sasuke, the banishment, the sealing ceremony, and his parents coming back to kill him. After that, this made pretty upset, so see someone go through all that and still be sane, but they aren't good guys, so they want to negotiate a deal. "Let's say if we join you, what do we get in return?" Quote, Naruto. "This world is divided by countries, but the 5 main ones are Hai no Kuni, Kaminari no Kuni, Tsuchi no Kuni, Mizu no Kuni, and Kase no Kuni. Each of those country has a cage and a daimyo. I will make a deal with each of them depending on your element. If they agree with the deal, you 4 can be treated as guardians or gods to each country. Imagine people worshipping you as their saviors, festivals honoring you, children running around with plastic masks that resemble you. All because you helped destroy a powerful village that are full of selfish people that only care about power and wealth." After that deal, the elementals began to think to themselves. If they agreed to this, they can be worshipped, own a land, and still use their powers for good instead of just destructions. After a few more minutes, they then agreed to the deal. "Alright Uzumaki, you got yourself a deal." Naruto. "Excellent. Before we begin, can you please introduce yourself to me so I can know which country you will be?" "Alright kid, my name is Rock Ko, the earth elemental. My name is Wa Wa, the water elemental. The name is Lo Lo, the air elemental. And last but not least, my little blonde friend, my name is Pyro, the fire elemental." Naruto. "Alright, now that we introduced ourselves, we can talk about how we can destroy Konoha." Rock Ko. "Hey, wait a minute. How come Lo gets 2 countries, both wind and lighting?" Naruto. "Unfortunately, Konoha is in fire country, so for now Pyro will be owning wind country until further notice." Wa Wa. "Seems fair to me." Naruto. "Now since that problem is taken care of, we can now discuss the plan. So here it is. It's been 10 months since Naruto has made a deal with the elementals. He began training under them in order to use their elemental power. He managed to get a hold of chakra paper, and when he puts in his chakra, he saw that he has all 5 elements. This made his training much simple. Thanks to his cage bunshin, his chakra control was much better than it was before. With that done, he began learning all the new jutsus Kurama can remember. Naruto also has an amazing skill when it comes to fuinjutsus. It wasn't a surprise to him since he is an Uzumaki, and they were known for that master skills in fuinjutsus. He also learned the truth about Uzushiogakure and how Konoha didn't bother to help them since they wanted to take all of their powerful weapons. The good thing is that they were stored away in a high-level seal that only an Uzumaki will be able to open it. The Sandaime Hokage was the only one who wanted to help, but it was too late since the village was completely destroyed. This made him want to kill and destroy Konoha even more. But he will be patient until the time is right. Speaking of Konoha, they had become a shadow of their former selves. Ever since the information of Naruto's banishment and sealing ritual, they have been hated all over the elemental nations. They lost everything, from their trades, their allies, to their reputation. They decided, no more Mr. Nice Guy. The village resorted to invasions and conquering. So far they managed to conquer a few small towns since they don't have enough manpower ever since Naruto's escape plan killed a big amount of their shinobis. They have been on lockdown to get their power up, and any day they will come out to conquer. Because of that, the cages of the 4 other villages planned a cage summit in Tetsu no Kuni. They hope to solve the problem about Konoha. Naruto is going to talk to them since he plans on destroying the village. Let's see how it was played out. Naruto POV. I'm on my way to the cage summit to talk to the cages. Thanks to all the training I got from Kurama and the elementals, I am now on par with a cage. The training was brutal. Rock code training involves lots of earthquakes, landslides, and dodging falling rocks. Wawa trained me in standing on water for a long time. I had to survive through tsunamis, high pressure of water pumps, and ice balls. Lolo had me dodge lightning bolts, wind pressure, and lasers. Pyro was the most difficult since I survived through lots of fire and lava attack. Half of the area was melted. I also had to train in my mindscape when I'm about to sleep. It was all worth it in the end, since now I can handle a cage or 2 in case this meeting will lead to a fight. My outfit also changed since my other was very torn that it's pretty much impossible to fix. I now wear a black short-sleeved hoodie with white outlines, black baggy pants with extra pockets, and some black closed boots. I also kept my Fox Anbu mask, black nail polish, and the Demon Brothers gauntlet chains. Naruto. Looks like I'm heading the right direction thanks to Sage Mode. Kurama. Yes, there's a big amount of chakra in that building, might be because of the 4 cages and their bodyguards. Oh yeah, Kurama also wanted to sign the Fox summoning contract, which they allowed me to sign since I'm Kurama's Jinchuriki. I managed to become the first Fox Sage in just 5 months. My sense has increased a lot, it made me a master in stealth, and it allowed me to use nature chakra. The appearance is that my iris is red-orange, with cross-pupil, and black pigmentation. Red-orange iris, cross-slit pupil, and black pigmentation. Naruto. Well then, let's get this party started. Vanishes in a fire Shushin asterisk. Cages POV. Mifune. Alright, now that all 4 cages are here, we can begin this summit. I am Mifune and I will be the representative for the cage summit. Please introduce yourself. I, Yondaime Reikage, and my bodyguards are B and Yugito. Onoki, Sandame Tsuchikage, and my bodyguards are Han and Roshi. Mei Terumi, Godem Mizukage, and my bodyguards are Ao and Chojuro. Gara, Sabaku no Gara, Godem Casekage, and my bodyguards are Tamari and Konkuro. Mifune. Now let's begin this summit. Reikage Dono, you may begin. We are here because of the same problem, Konoha. Mei. Yes, ever since they tried to banish and kill their Jinchuriki and the sudden appearance of the Yondaime Hokage, his wife and daughter, they become power-hungry fools. Onoki. To think that bastard Namikaze being alive all these years, has become a bigger pain ever since the Third Great Ninja War. Gara. The good news is that their Jinchuriki escaped and killed some of their shinobis, all of their alliances and treaties being broken, and damages to their village, caused them to be weakened. But they are the top of the 5 great villages for a reason. We don't know what they are doing or when will they come out and strike. Yes, that's why I called you here for an alliance. If the 4 main villages join together, we can possibly destroy Konoha. Onoki. That could be a good idea. Gara. Perhaps, but there are some flaws to this. Such as? Gara. Suna is still recovering from the Suna Auto invasion that happened a few years ago. Kiri had just ended their civil war. Both Kumo and Iwa might be able to handle them, but we still don't know what they are doing. It won't be enough. Mei. You have a point, Casekage Dono. We are going to need more than just the 4 of us. We do have our Jinchurikis, so that's an advantage. Onoki. Yes, but they have sealing masters such as Jiraiya of the Sannin, the Yondaime Hokage and his wife. Mei. With also Tsunade the Slug Sannin, they have better medical shinobis. What about recruiting the other villages? Onoki. It's just like Casekage Dono said, it won't be enough. Gara. Size, what are we going to do about this? I think I can answer that, old friend. No one POV. All of a sudden, a fire Shushin appear and there in the middle of the room, is a ninja with black clothing with white outlines, a white and black mask that resembles a fox, and claw gauntlets. The mysterious ninja's appearance caused all of the cage's bodyguards to come out of hiding with weapons drawn. The Jinchurikis feel a very powerful aura around the masked nin. Who are you and how did you find this place? Now, there's no need to get all hostile. Onoki. I disagree, Gaki. Do you think you can just come here without us noticing? Chuckles. Relax, cages, I do you no harm. I just came to talk to you. Mei. If you want to talk to us, then tell us who you are. Gaara. Naruto Uzumaki. Naruto. Chuckles and takes off mask. Hello Gaara. It's been a while, old friend. What they didn't notice is that Mei, Yugito, and Tamari seemed to have some pink tint on their cheeks. Mei. Who is this handsome man here? Tamari. This is the Naruto. He looks kinda hot. Yugito. Not going to like, he's AY1. Uzumaki. As in Kushina Uzumaki? Onoki. You look like that Namikaze bastard. Naruto. Please don't compare me to my bitch of a mother and my sperm donor. Gaara. Why are you here, Naruto? Naruto. I couldn't help but notice that you all wish to destroy Konoha. So I decided to come and help you for. Onoki. Why do you want to destroy your father's village? Naruto then began to tell them about his life there from his birth till today. He also told them about the retrieval mission and how the council banished him. No one wanted to help him, not even his family. He also informed them about the sealing ritual the next day. He left the part of the elementals since they're surprised. I see. How did you escape and damage the village? Naruto. Where should I start? Flashback Naruto POV. Kurama told me the plan, but I must wait for midnight, so I decided to rest for a bit. After 3 hours, it's finally midnight. Since those retards didn't put on chakra cuffs, this will make things much easier. The guard is standing by the cell looking forward, so Kurama gave me some of his chakra. Thanks to that, my fingernails grew into claws and my escape will begin. I quietly walked behind the guard and I used my claws to slit his throat and covered his mouth to keep him from screaming. Once he was dead, I picked up the keys and unlocked my cell. I picked up the dead body and put it in the cell and locked it. I made a clone and handed it into the guard. Lucky there was a crate of black Junin outfits, so I quickly changed. I left to the room and turned to the door to the left. Luckily it was the armory room. I scanned to see what I could take, but is mostly tantos, kunais and shurikens. Thankfully there were crates full of exploding tags. So I devise a plan. Naruto. Hand signs asterisk, Kage Bushin no Jutsu. I summon at least 200 clones. Luckily they all wore the same outfit I'm wearing. Alright guys, each of you guys get 100 tags and I want you all to split up and put them all over the village. Especially the Hokage monument, I want all the heads filled with tags except the Sandame's head. Understand? All the clones nodded and spread out. Konoha should learn not to fuck with me. Flashback ended. After that I told them what happened after that. I told them about the sealing ritual, the exploding tags detonating, and spending my time training in Tetsu no Kuni. Onoki. That's quite a story, Uzumaki. Mei. Indeed, so Naruto-san. You said that you came here to talk about destroying Konoha, correct? Naruto. Indeed I did, Lady Mizukage. Send a wink to her which caused her to blush a bit. I happen to have friends that can easily destroy a country in a matter of seconds. Who are these friends? After he said that I snapped my fingers and in a matter of seconds, the elementals appear. I noticed that the Jinchurikis were tense when they appear. This made everyone else notice this. What's wrong, you two? Killer B. Yuki is telling me to be careful with those 4. Yugito. So is Matabi-chan. The rest of the Jinchuriki nodded. Gaara. Naruto, who are these 4? Naruto. These my sleepless friend are 4 legendary masks known as the Elemental. Onoki. What makes them so powerful? I began to tell them about the history of them, how they were fighting the Rikudo Sennin, that it takes all the Biju to fight against them, their powers, and how I awakened them from their slumber. Naruto. So I came here to talk about a deal with you cages for our help. What will that deal be? Naruto. Foxy smirk, in exchange for our help, we get half of your countries. Onoki. No way, Gaki. Naruto. Oh, I'm not done yet, old man. We also give you some training based on your country. I want my 4 friends to feel worshipped. Imagine your villages celebrating the destruction of Konoha thanks to these 4. All children wearing masks that resemble them, even your Anbu wearing the same mask to show how graceful they to their savior. We can teach your shinobis the techniques they know that can easily kill an army. All they want is half your country. It's a fair deal really. Gaara. I will agree to this. May. So will I, anything to help get Kiri back on its feet. I. Thinks for a while. Alright, I will agree to this deal. Onoki. Thinks carefully. Fine, I will also agree. Naruto. Well, my 4 cages, it looks like we have a deal. Turns around to the elementals. Seem everything is according to plan, my destructive friends. Show a evil smirk and the elementals returned it. Just you wait, Konoha, your time is running out. It's been at 3 months since Naruto's alliance with the rest of the 5 main villages against Konohagakure. Apparently Konoha have decided to come out of hiding now too. They have decided to send spies to all other villages, but they haven't had any reports back. Naruto decided to first help out Iwagakure first, since they still have a grudge on what Minato did during the Third Great Ninja War. His revenge against Konoha begins. Naruto POV. After my agreement with the other villages, I first headed to Iwa to train on my earth techniques. I had Rock Ko with me to help train the Iwa nins. This lasted for at least 2 months until they all learned the special techniques. I told them that this was necessary since these aren't really jutsus. I told them how Konoha has the Sharingan, so they'll copy whatever attacks we throw at them. That got them to stop and think, since the Tsuchikage told me how he is very arrogant even though he hates admitting it. During my time here, I managed to befriend lots of people, such as Akatsuchi, Kuritsuchi, and Onoki. Getting along with Kuritsuchi was a bit difficult at first, but I managed to do it when we spared against each other. Akatsuchi was easy since the big guy has a good heart. The old man though was much more stubborn than Kuritsuchi, but I managed to do it. I was now a shinobi from Iwa, so I changed my outfit. Rock Ko and I were treated like saviors since I was able to boost up Iwagakure military. The Tsuchikage made a festival to help honor Rock Ko since he and the rest of his village believe that he is the will of the stone. That made Rock Ko a very happy mask. So was I, since Kuritsuchi and I went on a date that day. Thanks to my support, Onoki decided to train me in his particle style. It took me at least 4 weeks to master it, which helped shock him a lot. I also master every earth technique Iwa has, including the explosion release. Again, thanks to Kurama's and Rock Ko's training. My fox summons have reported me that there has been numerous Anbu and Nei spies heading to Iwa, so I decided to talk to the Tsuchikage about it. Naruto. Tsuchikage-sama, we have a problem. Onoki. Stops doing paperwork. What is it? Naruto. We have some spies around. All from Konoha, including Danzo's damn rude Anbu. Onoki. Where did you find this information? Naruto. I can summon foxes, which makes them very good for spying since they play tricks. I left a few of them in Konoha, and from what I found out, Minato and the rest of the council decided to come out by sending spies. Quote, Onoki. Damn bastards. Naruto. Yes, but thanks to Rock Ko, all of them have been captured and taken into custody. All are Junins and half of them are from Root. Onoki. I see. What are we going to do with them? Naruto. Thanks to our bedrock Anbu. Made it up. We conducted that 3 platoons of Junin and Chunins are coming to invade Tsuchi no Kuni. Quote, Onoki. Damn it, Naruto. I believe that we should call a meeting with the Shinobi Council. The 4th Great Ninja War is happening. Time skip. The Tsuchikage called the meeting with the Shinobi Council and they came along with the elder of Iwagakure. I told them that Konoha is coming for a surprise attack on the village. We then decided to plan out how we are going to counterattack. Random Junin. What are going to do? Naruto. We found out that they'll be marching around the village. Onoki. So that means that they'll be crossing Ishi no Kuni. Naruto. Exactly. We know that there's a town there, so I need Tsuchikage-sama to send a message to the mayor and tell them to evacuate now, since that's going to be a battlefield. They can come here for protection. Genins to hide Chunins will stay and protect the village, while all Junins, Anbu, Tsuchikage-sama, Roshi, Han, Rock Ko, and I will face the incoming enemy. They'll be sending so very well-known Junins such as Hitaki Kakashi and Sarutobi Asuma. Quote, Onoki. That will be the plan until further instructions. What about the prisoner? Naruto. Evil smirk. They'll be used as a message. Onoki. Ha ha ha, nice idea Gaki. Naruto. Everyone remember to your masks, we want to strike fear in Konoha. I'll discuss our plan with Rock Ko. They all nodded and the meeting was adjourned. Meanwhile in Konoha, Konoha is getting ready to attack Iwa since they believe that they'll lose again ever since the Third Great Ninja War. Minato was in front of 3 platoons to give out his speech. Minato. Listen up, Konoha has become the weakest of the 5 great village and we will not stand for that. Konoha will become the strongest and we will do that by war. All of you men and women here in front of me will go and invade Iwagakure. You will go through Ishi no Kuni to give them a surprise attack. Once you do that, kill that old bastard Onoki and take their Jinchurikis to become our weapons. Remember to fight for Konoha. Now go and make Konoha proud. After he said that, they cheered. The ones leading this attack is Kakashi and Yamato. They will make sure that they succeed this invasion. With 200 shinobis in each platoon, they'll believe that they will win. Though they are about to regret their assumption when they'll be returned in body bags. Naruto POV. It's now begun. Konoha is marching to Ishi no Kuni right now. Thanks to my summons, they'll be sending Kakashi and a special man named Yamato. From what I heard, has the Mokuton bloodline, but not as great as Hashirama Senju though. Everyone excluding the Tsuchikage, Han, and Roshi, are wearing masks that resemble Rock Ko. We are now in the town all hiding to give them a surprise attack. The prisoners are all now used at decorations to get Konoha more angry at me. Let's get this started. Naruto. Everyone get ready, the enemy is approaching. Rock Ko. Let's show them not to mess with us. Kakashi POV. We are now marching up to the town in Ishi no Kuni. We're going to take over that town to be our base to invade Iwa. It doesn't matter if there are people there, innocent or not, we will destroy anything in our way to ensure Konoha's victory. Don't worry Minato-sensei, we won't let you down. Kakashi. Alright, we're here, remember to take over and failure isn't an option. All Konoha nins. Yes sir. Kakashi. Alright, move in. All just ran to the gates of the town getting ready to attack, but when we stop in confusion to see a body hanging on the gates. Kakashi. Everyone stop. Why is there a body over there? Yamato. Senpai, the body also has some strange mask. Cut the body down and looks at it. This is one of our spies. Seems he's been captured. This mask though, it's very odd. Kakashi. Seems that they're creating a cult. Alright everyone, let's go over there. They nodded. When they got inside the town, it was quiet. Too quiet. There's no civilians anywhere. We also see the mask that our dead spy has. They're everywhere looking as they're staring at us. In the middle of the town there's a whole lot of hanging people and some butchered, all with that mask. We all checked and see that it's all of our spies, including ones from Danzo's route. Kakashi. Did the civilians do this? Yamato. I don't think so unless. Kakashi. Unless we've been, everyone stay on GU. The minute we looked back we see 20 of our men having spikes coming out of their chest. The rest of us dodged and spread out. We already lost some shinobi, this is not good. We all looked straight and see lots of Iwa nins with the same mask this town has. Iwa nin. Seems that you weaklings found out about your friends there. Kakashi. Damn, an ambush. Everyone stay on guard, all lighting users on front. Iwa kunoichi. That won't be enough to stop us. Everyone attack. All Iwa nins. Hand signs. Doden. Dangan no jutsu. All Iwa nins were sending huge amounts of big rocks to the Konoha nins, making them fall back. Yamato. Hand signs asterisk. Mokuton. Mokujoheki. Yamato creates a wooden wall to protect themselves from the huge rocks. Kakashi. Alright everyone, move in and attack. All lighting users head in first. They nodded. The Konoha nins spread out and attacked the Iwa nins. They believed that with Kakashi and Yamato of the wood release would ensure them an easy victory, but it won't be enough. Group of Konoha nins. Hand signs. Kaden. Karyuden, they are releasing flame breath to burn the Iwa nins. Group of Iwa nins. Hand signs. Doden. Doryuheki, they created some earth walls to protect themselves from the fire breaths. Kakashi. Alright, move in while they're still behind that wall. Reveals his Sharingan. The second the Konoha nins were running to them, something unexpected happened. The earth wall the Iwa nins created were shooting out rocky needles. It has impaled at least 10 more shinobis. The rest of them dodged and retreated back to the wooden dome. Kakashi. What happened? I never seen a jutsu like that. That's because it's not a jutsu, tree huggers. All Konoha nins got out of the wooden dome and looked to see who that voice belongs to. They all see a strange floating mask similar to what the Iwa nins were wearing. They began to wonder, what is this thing? Iwa nin. Good thing you're here, Rakuko-sama. Yamato. What is that thing? Rakuko. What are you looking at, leaf trash? I'm Rakuko, the earth elemental. Naruto Uzumaki and the Kyuubi woke me from my captive slumber, and now, I'm free to pulverize whatever gets in my way. Oh ho, don't even think about trying to invade my country, runts. 'Cause if you do, I'm gonna bury you alive. Kakashi. Naruto. So he's the one that awakened you. Rakuko. That's right. He also told me all about Konoha, and believe me, everyone is waiting to see Konoha burn to the ground. Yamato. It doesn't matter. Konoha will become the strongest village in the nations. Rakuko. We'll see about that. Everyone, you know what to do. All Iwa nins. Yes, Rakuko-sama. The Konoha nins watched as they all crouched down and see Rakuko glowing and releasing energy. All of the Iwa nins were all covered in rocks and were all formed into rocky spheres. Then they started rolling with high speeds and coming at them. Like in the game where he covers Crunch and starts rolling. Kakashi. Everyone spread out. They all spread out, but it wasn't enough to dodge them. More than 30 leaf shinobis were already rolled over and died. Yamato tried to hold them down with wood style, but it just keeps breaking. Kakashi tried to break a sphere with Chidori, but eventually another one keeps trying to flatten him. Rakuko. Looks like this invasion of Iwa will not be successful. Yamato. Well then maybe we'll capture you and be Konoha's weapon. He then creates a cage to capture Rakuko. Joki Bakushin. Yamato was then hit with a steaming force, so he couldn't capture Rakuko. The rest of the fighting stopped as all Iwa nins were rolling back behind Rakuko and getting out of the spheres. Naruto POV. Rakuko. Good thing you made it. Han, Roshi, Onoki, and Naruto. Naruto. Smirks, seems that you need a bit of help there, my rocky friend. Onoki. Looks like we were also able to cut them in half. Roshi. Yes, but knowing them they'll just keep attacking. Naruto. Oh well, might as well finish this. Roshi, if you would. Roshi. Hand signs, Yotan. Shikugaryugan no Jutsu. He sends scorching molten rocks which was burned some leaf ninjas. Kakashi. Damn you, Naruto. How you more powerful if Konoha didn't teach you anything? Naruto. Let's just say I found some good teachers that are more better than Konoha's shinobi. And I must say, I agree with them. Yamato. That may be true, but now you expose Iwa's Jinchurikis including yourself, so we'll just take you back to Konoha. Hand signs, Mokutan. Shichoro no Jutsu. Naruto, Roshi, and Han were then in a wooden prison. Konoha nins believe that they capture them since Jinchurikis are weak to Mokutan, but they'll see how wrong they are. Naruto and Roshi. Hand signs, Yotan Chakuramoto. Both Naruto and Roshi are covered in lava chakra that was able to burn the wooden prison. This shocked Konoha nins since they never knew Naruto had the Yotan Kekkei Genkei. Yamato. How? We though the Kyuubi Jinchuriki never had the lava release. Naruto. Like I say, I found good teachers that are better than Konoha. Kakashi. Hand signs asterisk, damn you demon brat. Just die already. Chidori. Naruto. Smirks and hand signs, gotcha. Mokutan. Mokusatsu Shibari no Jutsu. I then use my wood release to tie up Kakashi, Yamato, and the rest of the Konoha nins. Today is the end of this battle. Kakashi. How? You're not supposed to be this strong. You're Konoha's weapon. Naruto. Oh well, but good thing for us though. Iwagakure now has an extra tool for them. I then walked up to Kakashi and looked to the Sharingan on his left eye. I reached my hand and carefully inserted my fingers in Kakashi's eye. I just ignored his painful screaming as I just removed his Sharingan. Kakashi. No, that belongs to Obito. Give it back to me, you fucking demon. Naruto. Sorry Cyclops, but it seems that your time is up. This is the first step of Konoha's destruction. Goodbye Kakashi. Don't worry, my family will join you along with everyone in Konoha in hell. Tsuchikage-sama, shall we? Onoki. You read my mind, Gaki. Naruto and Onoki. Hand signs, Jinten. Genkei Hikari no Jutsu. All of the Konoha nins were then nothing more than pieces of dust. Iwagakure is in sure victory and we send a message to Konoha to not fuck with us. Naruto. We did it everyone. Konoha lost this battle and Iwagakure remains strong. I watched as they all cheered know that this is a major put down in Konoha's forces. It's only a matter of time until Konoha is destroyed. Soon my family will see just who is more powerful than them. Until then it's time for a celebration and spending more time with Kuritsuchi. Konoha after the battle in Ishii No. Kuni. The Konoha council were very furious when they got the news of what happened. Their spies were caught and they got the information about the invasion out of them. Once they sent the retrieval team to see if the invasion was a success, they reported that their forces were completely wiped out. Their spies were all brutally murdered and the sensor indicated that there was some chakra in the air which they concluded that the Tsuchikage was there and he used his particle style. They also reported about that masks that were all over the town and were on their dead spies. They believed that there was a cult but they had no proof. Now they lost the Mokuton, many of their forces, the last member of the Hokage's Genin team and one of the remaining Sharingan. Tsunade. Damn it, how did the invasion failed? Minato. Just like they reported, our spies were caught and were able to leak out the information. Kushina. And now we lost many of our forces, especially Kakashi-kun. Jiraiya. I know how we can rebuild our forces. Minato. Oh, do tell then, sensei. Jiraiya. Wait, better way to get more forces than invading a very weak country. Kushina. Kirigakure. Tsunade. That's a good idea. We could also steal the 7 swords and use the Godem Mizukage as a breeding stock. Minato. Then it's official. We will destroy Kirigakure and steal all of their valuable possessions. They all agreed on that and ended the meeting to report this to the council. What they didn't notice was a fox in illusion who dispersed into smoke and went to report to his master. Naruto POV. After that battle with Konoha, we returned back to the village announcing our victory. Thanks to that we had a huge celebration. Everyone got to enjoy themselves including Han, Roshi, Onoki, and Rakugo. I got a special reward from Kuritsuchi which ended in loud moans, but with the celebration outside no one heard it. I stayed there for about a few days until I made my way to Kiri. Tsuchikage thanked me for my assistance and said that I'm welcome in any time. Kuritsuchi gave me a goodbye kiss and Rakugo gave me more of his magic to enhance my strength. On my way to Kiri, I stopped by Nami no Kuni and said hello to Tazuna, Inari, and Tsunami. Once we catch up, I made my way to Zabuza and Haku's grave. I said my prayers then pulled out Kubikiribucho and rebuilt Haku's mask to wear. Once I made it there, I was immediately taken to the Mizukage. We both discussed on how we're going to improve the village, which of course, I made sure that Wawa was with me. Once we discussed the solutions, we had Wawa trained Kiri's shinobi with his military attitude which got him along with Ao. I met a new people like Mei, Ao, Chojuro, Kiri, and Utakata. I was trained on improving my water style and took a liking to Kenjutsu. Mei allowed me to train with Kubikiribucho and also Nuabari since I worked very well with it. I was now the second member of the Kiri no Shinobigatana Shichinen Shu. That was celebrated with me and Mei getting close in her office along with a broken desk. I also changed my clothing to show my loyalty to Kiri. Imagine having Haku's mask, teal-painted nails, navy color boots, the Demon Brothers gauntlet, which I forgot in the last chapter, and having Kubikiribucho and Nuabari behind the back in an X. As I'm walking to my apartment from training, I see one of my spy foxes appear. Naruto-san, I got a report. Naruto. What's happening, Kuro? Kuro. Konoha has decided to invade Kiri, since it's very weak. They plan to steal the 7 swords and make Mizukage-sama as a breeding stock. Naruto. Oh, those motherfuckers, they're going to pay with their blood. No one will make my Mei into a breeder. Gives Kuro a dead bunny as a reward. Thanks for the information, Kuro, I'll report this. The black fox nodded then disappear into smoke. After he disappear, I immediately headed to the Mizukage tower. Mei. What can I do for you, Naruto-kun? Naruto. I got reports from my summons, Konoha is coming here to invade Kiri. Mei. Damn it. Naruto. Yes, call an emergency meeting now, we need to be prepared. Time skip. All of the important people in Kiri came for the meeting. I told them that we are about to be attacked. Ow. How did you get this information? Naruto. I have summons who are spying at Konoha and report to me when there's update. Chojuro. What are we going to do? Quote, Naruto. We will fight them outside the village. Ambush them, the minute they set foot in Mizu no Kuni. We need to send hunter nins and censor out to report where they'll be setting in. Wah wah. Good idea, Naruto. Alright, listen up. We'll send at least a platoon of 15 shinobis who are censors. Ao will be the platoon leader thanks to his Byakugan, and once they report the location, we immediately strike. 20 Jonin and Anbu level shinobis will accompany them in case they get spotted, since Konoha has high-level censors. Chunin and Genin will stay and protect the village from intruders. Ow. Understood. Naruto. Alright, now that the plan is settled, get everything ready for the upcoming battle. Remember to wear your mask, it shows loyalty to Kiri and Wawa. Once they agreed, the meeting was over. I decided to walk with Mei to her home so she can help me train in Yotan and Futon. After that, I went and trained with Chojuro in Kenjutsu. To end my training for the day before the war, I went with Wawa to help me train in my water element. Konoha lost the battle with Iwa, and I'll make sure they lose this one as well. No one POV. Minato had just informed same number of shinobis along with Team 8 and Yugo that they'll be taking over Kiri. He informed them that he's sending censors and Anbu to go up against Kiri's Hunter Nin and Kenjutsu's users. He wants to make sure to steal the 7 swords and to keep the Mizukage alive. He also allowed Danzo to send a few of his route to accompany them. They are now on a boat heading to Mizu no Kuni, getting ready to attack them. What they didn't know was that a certain water mask had already sent the signal that Konoha has appeared. Wah wah POV. Thanks to the perks of being a water god, I can tell who has entered my country just by the waters. I see a lot of Konoha nins on a boat with sensors in the front checking who's hiding. So I just decided to teleport to Ao and the squad. Wah wah. Teleports, it seems that our intruders are here. Ao. Alright, all sensors get into position. Hunter nins and Shark Anbu get to cover. Kiri nins. Hi. Wah wah. Alright, let me know if there's an update. Ow. Hi wah wah sama. I then teleport to the intruders. Wah wah. Teleports to near Konoha nins asterisk. Get ready Konoha, your time is coming. Yugo POV. We had just arrived in Mizu no Kuni, and were heading to the village and surprised. Thanks to Team 8 and our sensors, we could tell if we've been spotted, but so far there hasn't been any Kiri nins so far. Though I can't seem to shake off a bad feeling. Yugo. Kurenai, has your team found anyone yet? Kurenai. Nothing so far, it seems that due to the civil war, their strength has weakened. Yugo. Alright, but don't get arrogant. Kiba. It's fine Yugo-san. We'll definitely win this battle. Yugo. Then why do I get the feeling that something is looking at us? Just be careful and get ready to move. As everyone was jumping silently in the trees, the same feeling I'm having is getting stronger. I looked around us and all I see is trees. In front of me is at least 20 nins and behind me is Team 8 and the rest of our nins. I guess I'm just being paranoid. Sweden. Gekuryuden. All of a sudden, the 20 nins in front of us were killed in a water vortex. Then out of nowhere a whole squad of Kiri nins with weird masks came out of nowhere. Looks like Wawa-sama was right. Shino. Everyone be careful, my bugs are getting strange vibes from them. Especially their masks. You should be scared. These masks are used to strike fear. After he said that, something strange happened. A floating mask, resembling the ones the Kiri nins are wearing, teleported in front of us. We see the Kiri nins all kneeling behind the mask. Konoha nins, you've got some nerve setting foot into my country without an invitation. Kiba. Who the fuck are you? Don't talk back to me. I'll fix that attitude problem of yours. I'll lead the command. Ow. Yes Wawa-sama. Attack them now. The rest of the Kiri nins nodded and charged from the front. We didn't panic at first because we had more men than them, but our chance are ruined when some of our men behind us were all stitched together in trees by a wire. Wah wah. Took you long enough Naruto. After he said that name, we were all shocked to think that this is the demon and he's fighting for Kiri of all places. Naruto walks out of a tree with Nuabari on his shoulder and dragging a half-dead Nei Anbu by neck. Well, I had to get rid of the few pests from that pathetic old man. Snaps the Nei Anbu neck and drops him. Kiba. What are you doing here, demon? Naruto takes off Haku's mask. Well, if you see the headband, then that answers your question, Mutt. Naruto POV. That didn't set well with the Mutt and him, Akamaru, and at least 10 shinobis charging at me. I just calmly did some hand signs. Naruto. Hand signs, Kirigakure number jutsu. The entire forest then had a thick mist appear. After the mist appear, I put Nuabari behind my back and brought out Kubakiribucho. I ran at full speed and cut down 5 random shinobis. The rest of them began to use some jutsu at me, but I just dodged them. Naruto. Hand signs, this is for you Zabuza. Sweden. Suiryuden no jutsu. A large water dragon appeared and killed the other 5 random shinobis. This made Kiba more angry. Kiba. Gatsuga. Both Kiba and Akamaru were spinning and heading straight for me. I decided to put them down. Naruto. Hand signs, Hisatsu Hyoso. I created several large ice spikes and both Kiba and Akamaru were impaled. It was a certain killed. I looked over and see the remaining Konoha nins staring at me in fear, since I killed someone I used to consider a friend. I looked to the rest of them without any emotion and brought out Nuabari. I quickly ran at them and quickly impaled at least 10 shinobis. I jumped back and threw Nuabari and it went through the 10 shinobis' throat. The Nuabari then impaled the trees and they watched as the now dead shinobi's blood was dripping from the wire. I then pulled back my sword and holds it over my shoulder. I quickly ducked from a Jukin from Hinata since I killed her friend. Hinata. You damn demon. How dare you kill him? Naruto. Smirks, well then do something about it, almighty Hyuga. That seemed to tick her off as she ran at me with her Yuho Soshikin, but I calmly dodged it with a smirk on my face. This happened for another 5 minutes until I decided to mess with her. I stopped, dodged it and let her hit me. Hinata. Hake Sojishi Hogeki. She then hit close my chakra coils and hit me with twin lion fists until I dropped to the ground all hurt. You should have never went up against a Hyuga, you weak demon. I quickly opened my eyes and looked at her with a smirk. She was confused at first, then I did a nod and my companions helped me out. Kiri nins. Sweden. Sweden. My comrades then wrapped her in water robes. She was struggling but couldn't get out since Wawa has improved Kiri's water affinity. Hinata. What the hell are you doing? Let me go. Don't you know who I am? Naruto. No shit Hinata, we all know who you are. Now you see, you're tied up since I want something to give to my Himes' village. Hinata. Please, what kind of whore would love you? Naruto. Smirks, oh you'll see. It's a good thing you're from the main house since it's going to make things easier for me. Looks to my comrades, take her back to Kiri. She has what we need. Kiri nins. Hi Taicho. They then took her away in a water shushin. I quickly looked to the rest of the remaining Konoha nins along with Yugo, Kurenai, and Shino and they were all captured in water webs. I looked to my left as Wawa appeared. Wawa. Great work out there everybody. Kiri has won this battle and with no casualties. Let's head back to the village and celebrate. Everyone nodded and Shushin headed back to the village leaving me alone in the mist forest. I looked all around as I see his dead bodies around me. I then looked at Kiba's and Akamaru's corpses from the ice spikes without any emotion. A smirk went up my face and Shushin to the village with one thing on my mind. Konoha lost again. Naruto POV. It's been a few weeks after Kirigakure won the battle against Konoha's Anbu and Team 8. We were able to do something with Hinata since she's from the main house. I might hate Konoha, but I still don't appreciate using women with bloodlines as breeding stocks. So I thought of a better idea. We surgically removed both of her Byakugan and stored it in the Mizukage's vault until Mei finds someone who should have them. After we did that, I just sliced her neck without saying anything. Sorry for all Naruhina fans. We then talked to the prisoners who surrendered from the battle. I was able to interrogate and torture some information from them, including from Danzo's root since I destroyed the cursed seal that they have on their tongue. I learned Konoha is planning to infiltrate Suna because it's now the weakest of the 5 major villages. I informed Gaara about this so he can prepare until I meet him there. Kiri was celebrating our battle against the strongest village. Mei and I also celebrated in her office, with silencing seals and lots of moaning. The next day, I was at the gate heading to Suna. I gave Mei a goodbye kiss and Wah gave me the rest of his water elemental power. I'm now on my way to Suna with Pyro next to me. Pyro. So my blonde-haired friend, what can you tell me about Sunagakure? Naruto. Well, I assigned you to be the temporary ruler, because the village is literally in the desert and I know the heat won't bother you. Kase no Kuni is just a huge desert in the world. I believe it's perfect for you since we both don't want Lolo to have two countries. Pyro. Yes, or else he'll be bragging about it. Naruto. Yeah, anyways, the leader of the village is the Case Cage who happens to be my best friend. A title more deserving for him than that pathetic piece of shit Uchiha. Pyro. How did that happen? Naruto. He's a Jinchuriki just like me. He holds the Ichibi no Tanuki named Shukaku. He holds the power of sand, which was one of the reasons why Gaara can control sand. Before I met him, he was a boy that killed many people to prove his existence. It wasn't until I met him, when I told him about how we're the same. The difference is that his village began to change their ways on him and they accepted him as a savior and elected him as Case Cage, while my old village still think of me as a tool or a demon. He achieved something I couldn't do. Pyro. Seems like a perfect friend for you. Naruto. Yes, that's why we're going to Suna. I'm going to help defend his village because that's what friends are for. I know that Konoha are planning to invade it because it's the weakest of the 5 major villages. They're going to steal everything that Suna has and they'll use my best friend as a weapon since he's a Jinchuriki. Pyro. Now that's something we don't need now, do we? Naruto. Smirks. No, Pyro-sama, no we don't. After our talk, we already walking in the sand. The sun was shining bright and the heat was intense, but it didn't bother me because it's nothing compared to Pyro heat resistance training. After walking for a few more miles, we finally see the gates of Suna and we see Gaara, Kankuro, Temari, and the Jonin Baki. Gaara. Hello Naruto and Pyro-sama. Welcome to Suna. I hope it wasn't too troubled for you both to travel here. Naruto. Hello Gaara, Temari-chan, Kankuro, and Baki, and our travel wasn't so bad. Pyro. Yes, it wasn't bad at all, Case-Cage-sama. I enjoy the harsh desert. Gaara. I see, I'm glad that it wasn't too much trouble. Now come and follow me to my office, we have much to discuss regarding Konoha invading. We all agree and started walking to the Case Cage Tower. As we're walking, I noticed that Temari was a bit close to me with a blush on her face. Since it takes a while to walk to the tower, I made a small conversation with her. We talk about things like how to improve our wind jutsus, how Suna is almost done recovering from the invasion a few years ago, and our likes and dislikes. After our talk, we finally made it to Gaara's office and we talk about the upcoming battle. Gaara. It seems that Konoha is becoming desperate, since they lost a battle to a village that barely recovered from their war. They are planning to come here to rebuild our relationship with each other. Naruto. Yes, those idiots are trying to put on the nice guy act, but I found out that he's having some spies to go around and find an opening to invade Suna. My summons reported that those who are coming are Minato, Jiraiya, 3 squads of Anbu with one of them being from Dam Root, and finally those 3 fucking elders. Quote, Pyro. Chuckles evilly. My, it seems that some very strong people are coming, especially the Yondaime Hokage. Knowing his death along with Asanin's will crippled Konoha even more. Well, my Fox and Tanuki friends, a plan needs to made here. Naruto. Most of your shinobis use wind jutsus, so it won't do much against their fire jutsus, but what we have is an actual fire god. Quote, Pyro. I'll be training and release some of my powers to our shinobis. Not only that, but I was told that a certain bloodline involved wind and fire. Am I wrong? Baki. The Shikuden Kekkei Genkei. We only had a few of them in Suna, until the last one, a kunoichi named Pakura, died due to the treachery from her mission as soon as to negotiate with Kirigakure and how the Yondaime Case Cage and the higher-ups for letting her go alone. Quote, Naruto. I see, it seems that both of our fathers were fools as cages. Gaara didn't say anything but just nodded. Well everyone, it's time to bring back the bloodline. Let's gather everyone for the upcoming battle. We have at least a week until Konoha comes to negotiate. Everyone nodded as we all head to the council room to discuss our plan with them. In Konoha, Minato's POV. Minato. Alright everyone, we may have lost to Kiri, since the demon was there fighting for them, but we will not lose to Suna. The entire council agreed to this. The news of our losses to Kiri gave us more trouble than the battle with Iwa. Like last time, we were reported that Kiri wore strange masks to resemble some demon being. We also found out about Kiba's death, which angers Sumie a lot, and that Hinata was brought to us dead, with both her Byakugan removed and eyes sealed shut. When we were about to touch her to see if anything else is wrong with her, the body exploded leaving nothing but ashes and dried blood. Like Sumie, Hisashi was very pissed off demanding to find the demon so he can kill him in the most brutal way. We really hope this plan to destroy Suna goes well, but I know with me, Jiraiya, our Anbu, and the elders, we'll come victorious. Naruto's POV. We just got a word from our spies and our wind Anbu that Minato, Jiraiya, the squads of Anbu, and the three elders have just arrived in Kase no Kuni. We are ready for them and have Suna nins all over the village, just in case their Anbu tried to sneak their way into the village. During the week, most of our forces were practicing the Shikuden release. I was able to master it thanks to Kurama and Pyro. Unfortunately, there wasn't much jutsus with the Kekai Genkei, so we only trained on what we learned, but I was able to create some new styles with this. We also managed to create a bond with Gaara and Shukaku, just like me and Kurama. Flashback. I was in the middle of the desert creating lakes and land to grow crops, since water is sacred in Suna and it makes it harder for the farmers to grow food. It's going very well thanks to Mokuton and high water release from Kurama, Rock-ko, and Wa. As I'm creating another lake, Kurama began to talk to me. Kurama. Hey kid, there's something I want to talk about. Naruto. Sure, give me a minute. I stop on what I was doing and began to sit down and meditate. I open eyes to see a lush forest with high trees and sakura blossoms. I began walking until I see Kurama with the seal as a collar. He seemed to be laying down in the soft grass. Lazy fox. Naruto. I'm here, what is it that you wanted to talk about? Kurama. I've been wondering since you managed to befriend the Jinchurikis and Bijus from Iwa and Kiri. I believe that since Gaara is your best friend, we should help create a bond between him and Shukaku, just like us. Who knows, he might let him summon the Tanukas since they haven't had a summoner in centuries. Quote, Naruto. I guess it could be possible. Kami knows that it's one of the problems that is causing Gaara to not sleep. Alright, let's go talk to him. Once I left my mindscape, I started walking to Gaara's office. On the way there, lots of civilians and shinobi who were greeting at me with smiles on their face. Thanks to me and Pyro-sama, we managed to boost the village. They no longer need to worry about livestock or agriculture since with the lakes and lands I'm creating, is helping them a lot. The shinobis are getting stronger with Pyro's fire abilities, and my wind training thanks to Lolo. I finally made it to the case cage's office. It seems that Gaara is doing the paperwork as usual. Naruto. Looks like it's every day with you and that damn paperwork. Gaara. Yes, though it is fortunate for Shukaku to not let me sleep, so that it gives me time to do it. Quote, Naruto. About that, there's something I wanted to talk to you about. Gaara. Oh, and what's that? Naruto. Kurama and I decided that you and Shukaku need to bond as one, just like us. Gaara. You are aware that, you're asking me to make friends with a being that made me into a monster as a child, have my own father tried to control me, and have the villagers fear me. Naruto. Yes, I know it's something that you'll never expected to hear, but if I can create a bond with the powerful Biju, then so can you. Gaara. We will see if he agrees. I just nodded after that. Naruto. Very well, let's begin while we have the time. Flashback ends. It was a bit difficult at first since the first thing Shukaku wanted to do was try to kill us, but Kurama was able to talk some sense into him. Just like me, Gaara decided to alter the seal into a collar also. Changed the scenery from a sewer to a nice forest with bamboo trees and some sand areas, and as a token for this Shukaku decided to let him sign the Tanuki contract. Once we got back to his office, I told Gaara on how to handle the paperwork, which was creating some shadow clones. After a few seconds of silence, he gave some forbidden winds jutsus from the case cage vault, went to his desk, then knocked out with him snoring loudly, leaving me to sweat drop. Anyway, like all villages, I'm changed my outfit. Apparently, thanks to my help in boosting the village, I've been getting a lot of gold from the villagers that specialize in precious metals. So now I wear a golden neck collar with blue fabric stripes and the Suna symbol engraved on it with no shirt, white pants with a white fabric on the waist, bandages with golden bracers around my arms, wrists, waist and ankles, navy shinobi sandals and a golden color fabric flap with a fox symbol. After I was seen walking with my new outfit, many looked at me like if I'm a pharaoh. The women looked at me with lust, so it was a bit uncomfortable walking around. I finally made it to the office and see the Sabaku siblings, Baki, Maki, and the elders Chio and Ebizo. Once they looked at me, the men and elders looked at me with wide eyes and the two kunoichi looked at me with blushes on their faces. Konkuro. To think that you were the same orange-wearing squirt from back then to this powerful shinobi. Naruto. Times are changing and we are at war with a village who won those 3 great ninja war. That's why I have our friend to train your shinobis since we know that we needed a boost against Konoha's so-called, powerful, fire jutsus. They can't fight against the fire god. Oh, the fire god, what a nice title for a being like me. Said a voice from right behind me. Said a voice behind me. Everyone but me looked to see who said. Naruto. Good thing that you came here for the plan, Pyro-sama. Pyro. Well, as soon as I heard that they arrived, I just had to come here. Gaara. That's good, now we all agreed on the plan, so Naruto go through it one more time. Naruto. Yes. Now listen up, as soon as they arrived, we are going to have our shinobis be hiding around the village. I can tell that they'll bring some Anbu to infiltrate the village. Once we take Namikaze, Jiraiya, and the elders to the council chambers, we will deal with the Anbu first. Once we get the signal that they have been dealt with, we take care of them in the chambers. We made sure that the civilians have been taken to the shelters to avoid them being caught in the crossfire. Pyro-sama will come to make sure they believe the fire god will come to help a village from Hai no Kuni. Once I made sure to arrive there, the battle begins with them trying to capture me and Gaara to be their weapons. That's when we intercept them. With us winning, Konoha becomes even more weaker with them dead. Remember to not be cocky, they're known as the strongest village for a reason. Make sure to wear Pyro-sama masks. Agreed? All. Agreed. Naruto. Well, then Pyro-sama. Let's show then not to mess with the fire god. Pyro. Yes, now then my sand-loving friends, let's begin. Laughs evil a bit. The Konoha shinobis, elders, Jiraiya, and the Hokage have finally arrived in the Suna. For now only the figureheads are in the front the gates of Suna. Suna is aware how the shinobis and Anbus are sneaking in the village, but they're going to be taken care of. In the gates, we have the case cage Gaara, his siblings, and Baki in his council attire robes. Both the siblings and Baki are wearing some strange masks that resemble a face of fire. Gaara. Greetings Hokage-sama, Jiraiya of the Sannin, Konoha elders, welcome to Sanagakure. I hope your travel here wasn't too harsh. Minato. No, it was fine case cage-sama. I'm glad we were able to have our village be reconnected again. Konkuro. Don't get your hopes up yet, we haven't even agreed anything yet, Hokage-sama. Jiraiya. I just thought that we could both agreed on this already, knowing that both of our villages are struggling. Gaara. Actually Jiraiya-sama, we are actually improving a lot. Homura. How so case cage-sama? Gaara. Follow us to the Suna Council and we'll explain it there. He and his followers then started walking without hearing their response. This left them a bit insulted, but followed them nonetheless. As they were walking, the people of Konoha see many unusual things. They see lots of rivers and lakes in their village, which was sacred. There's some fresh plants and trees that doesn't usually grow in Suna. They see many rare metals such as gold, silver, bronze, and even platinum. This is normal, since both Suna and Iwa are known to produce such rare metals, but mostly silver and bronze. Another usual thing they see as they begin walking, were the masks that the two siblings and counselor are wearing. They're everywhere, from stores, to civilians, Hell, even a gold statue of the mask was made, attracting lots of civilians to come and pray for it. Jiraiya. Another strange mask? Seems Suna has one as well. Danzo. Something isn't right here. My root are in the village, but I can't sense them, and those masks. Why is it so important to a village in Kase no Kuni? It's a mask of fire, yet it's in Suna. After they walked past the statue, they made it to the Suna council chambers. They needed to wait until the rest of the councilors arrived. They didn't have to wait that long since it only took a few minutes for them to arrive. Gaara POV. Now seeing as the final councilor have arrived, we could finally begin the plan. I hope their shinobis are being taken care of. Gaara. Now that we have all arrived, this meeting can begin. The politicians from Konoha can begin with this treaty, and this so-called peace between our village. Koharu. As you know, Konoha has been doing so badly ever since our Jinchuriki left. We also know how struggling your village is, so we believe that we can help each other out. Tamari. As you saw when we're walking over here, our village has been improving a lot without your help. Water isn't sacred anymore, our agricultural rates is improving, and our strength is rising a lot. That didn't sit well with them. Jiraiya. I've been meaning to ask. What's with those fire masks? They're all over the village. Gaara. That's a god that we worship here in Suna. Pyro-sama, the flame god of Suna. Thanks to him, our strength have been increasing every day, and that made us worship him. Danzo. He's a fire god, but he's in Kase no Kuni. He should be with us in Hai no Kuni. Konkuro. Actually, he knows about Konoha, and, well, he was disappointed about the so-called strongest village. Homura. How dare you say that about us? We are the strongest village in the nations. Minato. We know that you actually need us to avoid getting invaded by enemies. Without us, Suna is the weakest. It was all silent for about a minute since it now seems that the peace treaty is now off. The silence was broken by my small chuckle, which eventually turned into a laugh. Everyone was surprised to see me laughing, since it never happens. Minato. Why are you laughing, Gaara? We all know it's true. Gaara. Slow down's laughing. I just find it amusing. To think that the strongest village in the nations comes to the weakest village in the nations for a peace treaty. We both know that this will only benefit Konoha. Honestly, the day my best friend escaped your village was the best thing that ever happens to the other great villages. Konoha became too arrogant, and look where you are now. Coming to us. Smirks. How low can Konoha go? Jiraiya. You watch your mouth, boy. We may have lost some powerful people, but we're still the strongest village. You claim to be the strongest village, but from what I've heard, it really disappoints me, said a calm and scary voice. All of a sudden, a floating mask resembling fire appeared out of nowhere. All people from Suna. Pyro-sama. They bowed after saying his name, while the Konoha politicians were awestruck. Minato. I thought your god was a myth. Pyro. Chuckles. Trust me, I'm here, in my village. Looks to Danzo. Ah, the pathetic Sharingan. It also seems that it's an implant. Looks to his bandage arm, and it looks like you got a few more. That won't do anything against me. Laughs. Fools, that Sharingan is nothing but a pathetic eye that can only copy things. I never get why the Uchiha clan cared so much about these. Isn't that right, Naruto? Naruto. Teleports to the chambers. I couldn't agree more, Pyro-sama. Naruto then appeared next to Pyro-sama in his Egyptian attire. Naruto POV. All from Konoha. You. I smirk after that. Naruto. Well, Konoha is here, begging for help. It must be the greatest day of my life. Jiraiya. What are you doing here, demon? Naruto. Well, if you must know, points to my gold-plated collar, I'm a shinobi for Suna, now. Thanks to Pyro-sama, we managed to make Suna better and more powerful than Konoha. Your fire jutsus won't do anything against us. Danzo. We'll see about that. Root to me. He then jumped down with his arm bracers and bandages off, revealing the 10 Sharingans on his arm. Both the other elders smirked at this. Minato. Anbu, attack. Once they yelled out to their shinobi, they, along with Jiraiya, jumped out in battle stances. They were alone for a while, both wondering where the special forces are. Have they been compromised? Are they dead? Have they infiltrated the village? Gaara. Your Anbu and Root have been taken care of the minute they tried to infiltrate the village. It's just you five. Minato threw his famous tri-pronged kunai at Gaara, so he could seal him to be a weapon for Konoha. After he threw it, he teleported in front of Gaara, who wasn't worried at all, with a seal on his hand. As he was about to touch Gaara, he felt a kick to his face sending him to wall. They all looked to see who did it, and to Konoha's shocked, it was Naruto with a leg up. Homura. Impossible. No one can stop the Yodime's Hiruishin, he said in shocked. Naruto. Oh, believe me, it's very easy to counter. Hand signs, Sukochi no Yaiba. Scorch blade. I then created an invisible blade made of chakra, but there's some orange fading that can barely be seen. Koharu. You too will be Konoha's weapon. Quickly capture slice. She was suddenly cut off by a slice to her gut. All of a sudden, she started to shrivel up until she looked like a desiccated corpse. All of Konoha was shocked to see that I killed one of their elders. Homura. Damn you demon, you'll pay for tea. Naruto. Kaden. Futon. Enpu no Rappa. I send a powerful torrent of wind and fire that immediately burned his entire body. A few seconds later, after the fire died down, there was nothing but ashes of the two elders. I then looked at them, the Konoha nins, with a smirk on both me, Gaara, and Pyro-sama's face. Your turn, father. After dealing with two of the old assholes, I'm facing my sperm donor, former sensei and a pathetic excuse of a godfather, and the old bastard who was Gigi's rival. Pyro-sama was with me along with the Sand siblings. Minato. How are you this strong? You were nothing more than a weak genin. Naruto. With the right teachers, you can do anything. Danzo. No matter, you and the case cage will be weapons for Konoha. With the Sharingan and the Shoden cells, I'm unstoppable. Jiraiya. Capture them. I have a seal that will erase their memories and become our tools. Gaara. We'll see about that. Pyro. I realize my brethren have had some trouble with you, my little leaf friends, but I'm not quite sure why. Is it getting hot in here? Is it safe to be wearing that cloak, Hokage? It looks flammable. Naruto. Hand signs, Kaden. Kitsunebi. I manifest 10 fireballs in a circle in front of me and launches them to the Konoha nins with high speed. They jumped out of the way, but Danzo lost one of the Sharingans in his arm. Minato quickly created a Rasengan with one hand and threw his Hiruishin kunai at me, which I dodged without effort. Minato quickly teleported to me with the Rasengan ready to me with it. I just grabbed his arm and pushed it where the Rasengan hit Minato's stomach, sending him to the wall and outside the building. Jiraiya used his Kabari Senbon to try to hit us, but was blocked by Gaara's sand. Gaara quickly threw some sand, creating sand shurikens at a fast pace. Jiraiya quickly got out of there, went to check on his student. Danzo used wind chakra and create a wind blade with a kunai. He quickly tried to slice Pyro-same, but I blocked it with my scorch blade. Naruto. My spies has informed me everything about you, old man. From your creation of the disbanded route, your agreement with the Hanzo the Salamander, your deal with Orochimaru, and plans on conquering the nations with you leading. Danzo. That fool Hiruzen should have you given to me and become Konoha's weapon. He was a fool to believe that you are a person. You're nothing but a tool like all shinobis. Naruto. The Nidaime made a better choice choosing Gigi than you, pathetic old man. You are also a tool, old fool. The problem is that you lasted longer, including those two old bastards. Once I deal with you and those other assholes, Konoha will be closer to their deaths and annihilation. I quickly swung to the right, cut his head off in the process. His body then faded away, meaning it was an illusion. Seems the old fool used that jutsu. Pyro. Would you look at that, the Izanagi. A jutsu that applies an illusion to a target's senses, causing the target to experience things that are not real. Such as his death. Naruto. That maybe be true, but I infused Kurama's chakra with my scorch blade, causing more damage. Pyro. Chuckles, you always surprised me, Naruto. Danzo looks to his arm and sees that each hit from my sword causes it to lose 4 eyes. He now has 5 left, not including the one in his skull. Using this distraction, I used another attack. Naruto. Fire release, fire bullet strings. I used my index and fire 5 bullets that's made of chakra stings and infused with fire chakra. The bullets hit all of the Sharingans and leaving him with bad burns. Danzo. Damn you demon. I guess I will have to take you all with me. He then removed his robe and revealed a seal on his chest. The Ura Shisho Fuin. Pyro. The Ura Shisho Fuin. It releases 4 symbols from the user's body that then forms a large black sphere around them. Anything caught inside the sphere's area is then drawn in and sealed within the user's corpse. A jutsu for cowards. Danzo. We'll see about that when you and the rest of this pathetic village is eradicated. Naruto. Laughs, fool, you're not going to destroy Suna. You're going to be my tool for a bit and destroy your root base. Danzo. How dare you call me a tool? I will not be owned by anyone, and how are you going to make me? Naruto. I have spies all around Konoha. We know in and out of that place. We managed to find your hidden root base. That's when you explode. Pyro-sama. If you will. Danzo. Damn you Uzumaki. He was then teleported to his hidden base. Naruto. Now to take care of the other 2. We teleported outside and see Minato and Jiraiya. Minato is still recovering since he used a lot of chakra on that Rasengan. Jiraiya did some hand signs in order to buy time for his student to recover. Jiraiya. Kachiyose no Jutsu. He then summoned an aquatic skin toad with 2 swords on his back. Gamahiro. Jiraiya, why did you summon me? Jiraiya. Minato is injured, he needs to recover. Help me fighting against our old Jinchuriki. The toad nodded and brought out his swords. Gaara created a sand shield in order to hold off the attack. We look at each other and nodded, knowing that we're going to use that jutsu. The toad is going to cost a lot of destruction in the village, so we need to take it out. Naruto. Pyro-sama, can you give me of your energy? We're going to use that jutsu. Pyro. No problem, just show them not mess with the fire god of Suna. The toad was able to break the shield, causing us to split up. We both land on different buildings and began doing hand seals. Jiraiya. Give it up you two, you can't win against Konoha. Gaara. Futon. Daitopa, he then blew high pressure of wind from his mouth. Naruto. Kaden. Dai Enden. I then release a massive flame from my mouth and combine it with the wind jutsu. Naruto and Gaara. Fire and wind release. Creation of the fire god Pyro. The big flame began to gain shape into the form of Pyro-sama and it headed straight for them. Jiraiya. Hand seals, Sweden. Mizudepo, he then release a big wave of water from mouth to extinguish the fire. The second those attacks made contact, the water was instantly evaporated and the fire mask was still heading for them. Gamahiro instantly returned to the summoning realm once it was hit and Jiraiya quickly jumped to Minato and tried to escape. The heat was so intense that their coats were already begin to burn. They also felt their skin burning. Minato quickly used some chakra and teleported away from Suna and into the desert where he left a Hiraishin Kanai in order for them to escape. The attack died down and there was only Minato's cloak and Jiraiya's green kimono shirt, both on fire and beginning to burn. Gaara. Seems that they escape. Naruto. Let them go back and lick their wounds. With 3 of the elders dead and the burns, they will need some time to recover, but the burns will never go away. A summon appeared and it was a red fox. Yes, Akakatsune? Akakatsune. I come to report that the root base was completely erased from a black sphere. There was nothing but a huge hole. No survivors. Naruto. Thanks for the report, you may go. The fox nodded and disappeared back to the summoning realm. Looks like root has been completely obliterated. Konoha is coming closer and closer to their destruction. Gaara. Yes, just a few more things that need to be taken care of. Though we need to be careful, since Konoha will have to take some drastic measures. I nodded after that. Pyro. We could focus on that later. It's time for a celebration. We nodded with smiles on our faces. Konoha is getting weaker and weaker. I need to make sure it stays that way. For some reason the Akatsuki has been getting quiet. I need to look up on that. For now though, celebrating with my best friend and his siblings. Maybe spending time to Mari and Maki. We'll see where it goes from here. Naruto POV. I'm in Kaminari no Kuni, heading to Kumogakure with Lolo besides me. After dealing with Minato, Jiraiya, and those dead elders, Suna had a huge celebration. Everyone was thanking me, Gaara, and Pyro. Gaara was smiling all day. Pyro was feeling happy that people are thanking and worshipping him, and I was spending time with Tamari and Maki. The next day, I was at the gates getting ready to leave. Everyone was wishing me farewell and Pyro gave me the rest of his fire elemental powers. Maki and Tamari gave me a goodbye kiss and Gaara gave me a hug, which I returned. I left Suna and head to Kumo. Lolo was with me cracking a few air puns. Lolo. So then Naruto, what's Kumogakure like? Naruto. Well, the village is located in a range of tall mountains and is literally hidden in the clouds. Kumogakure is led by the Yondaime Raikage. He's famous for his speed which matches the Yondaime Raikage. Along with brother Killer Bee, the Jinchuriki of the Hachibi, they're known as the powerful duo of Kumo due to their deadly technique, the lariat. Lolo. Wow, their attacks can blow me away, hehe. Naruto. Chuckles, yes, they have powerful shinobis such as Yugito ni, Jinchuriki of the Nibi, Dodai of the Yoton Kekai Genkai, and Darui of the Black Lighting. Lolo. Can't wait to meet them. Naruto. Neither can I, Lolo-sama. We finally made it to the village and I could see Darui, and C there waiting for us. I gave them a message of how I'll meet them near the gate. Good to see you made it Naruto and Lolo-sama. Naruto. Hello there Lolo. Thanks for having here Raikage-sama. My pleasure. Please follow us to the Raikage Tower. We need to discuss things. We all nodded and began to head there. We passed by many shinobis and civilians as we're heading to the tower. Many are looking at us in respect since Lolo is a god of wind, lighting, and air. After a few minutes, we made it to the tower. As we went inside, we passed by the Raikage's assistant, Mabui. Mabui have B, Yugito, Dodai, and Team Samui in my office in 10 minutes. Mabui. Hi, Raikage-sama. She said in a professional tone, much to I's ire. We all began to head inside and since I'm the last one to go in, I looked back to Mabui, who was looking at me, and winked at her, which she began to blush and smile a bit. I sat on his chair while Darui and C were right beside him while Lolo and I were in front of them waiting for the rest to show up. A few minutes later, 3 men and 3 women showed up. The ladies were looking at me with pink tints on their cheeks, which noticed but me. Now that everyone is here, we can begin our meeting before our hard training with Lolo-sama. Naruto, do you have any news regarding Konoha? Naruto. Yes, but it's not something good for anyone else. Dodai. What is it then? Naruto. My summons have reported me that they're thinking of hiring the Akatsuki to work for Konoha. They want all the tailed beast and use them as a weapon for Konoha. All Kumo nins. What? Lolo. Ho ho, that's right, and the news gets even better. Tell them about the other thing, that will blow them away. Killer B. What other thing, yo? Not writing in rhymes, too much work. Naruto. They're planning on rehiring Orochimaru and letting him do disgusting experiments to make Konoha more powerful. Everyone was now silent and shocked. The Akatsuki and Orochimaru, both working with Konoha, is really bad news. They need to train really hard and be prepared or else Kumo will be destroyed. See? What are we going to do? Naruto. We all need to train really hard, especially as Jinchurikis. Lolo-sama will help train all shinobis thanks to his element with air. Meanwhile, the Jinchuriki are heading to the Turtle Island to train more. The Akatsuki is powerful and when they come, we need to be prepared. Agreed, we need to be prepared and start training. We start now, get ready because we're facing powerful people. We all agreed and leave to get ready. Time skip no one POV. Killer B and Yugito are waiting at the gates, getting ready to head to the island. They're for Naruto to show up since he went to change his attire to how his loyalty to Kumo. As they're waiting, they began to talk to their tenants. Yuki. B. Naruto is right. Even if we're working together, the Akatsuki are still very powerful. With them working with masters of Fuinjutsu, they'll be able to seal us easily. Killer B. Yeah, hopefully we can handle them when the time comes. Matabi. Kitten, that Naruto sure is, why don't you think? Kyuubi-kun found a very good host. Yugito. Nibi-chan, now's not the time for that. But yeah, he is. That nice golden blonde hair, crystal blue eyes, and charming smile. Sighs dreamily. Matabi. Remember kitten, you have competition. Hope you're prepared to share. Yugito. Damn, I forgot about that. Sorry that you guys had to wait, I was just changing my attire. Both looked to see Naruto, and the second they look, B looked impressed and Yugito was blushing hard. His attire consists of a black hoodie with the right arm sleeve short and left arm sleeve long, black shinobi pants with red leg bandages, black boots, two dark and light gray tunics on the front with a fox wearing a mask that resembles Lolo, a white Kumo flak jacket, red rope belt, and orange tinted glasses, and a white Kumo headband. Image black combat boots, a symbol of a fox with mask of Lolo, and replace those glasses with these. You gotta love the flamingo's glasses. Naruto. By the way guys, we're going to have someone else with us to train her tailed beast too. B. What's her name, yo? Naruto. Smirks, her name is Fu, Jinchuriki of the Nanabi. At Konoha, in the Hokage's office, we see Minato, Kushina, Tsunade, and Jiraiya. Minato and Jiraiya have a few burns on their bodies from their fight with Naruto in Suna. They are in the office, discussing on whether they should hire the Akatsuki and Orochimaru. Minato. So it's agreed. We'll pardon on all of Orochimaru's crime and let him stay here and make an alliance with the Akatsuki. Jiraiya. Yes, since we need some more muscle since we lost so many of our shinobis along with those with Kekkei Genkei. My spies reported that Iwa has the Sharingan that belonged to Kakashi, Kiri has the Byakugan from a Hyuga from the main house, and Suna somehow got more shinobis with the Shikuden Kekkei Genkei. Tsunade. Plus those strange masks that were reported, have stayed with the cages from those villages. It somehow makes them more powerful. Kushina. We need to have our shinobis train more, especially Mito. Minato. Very well, the alliance of Konoha with the Akatsuki and Orochimaru of Otogakure is agreed. We will make sure to win this war and make Konoha the strongest. Everyone agreed. At Konoha, it's been 2 months after Konoha agreed to an alliance with Orochimaru and the Akatsuki. They send a message to Omegakure and Otogakure in order for them to come to Konoha agree to a treaty. We see Minato, Kushina, and the 2 Sannin at the Konoha gates waiting for the guest to arrive. Unknown to them in the trees, there's a violet-colored fox with mask that resembles Lolo. A few minutes later we see 4 figures coming. 2 of them are from Konoha, 1 from Kiri, and 1 from Oto. They are Orochimaru, Kabuto Yakushi, Itachi Uchiha, and Kisame Hoshigaki. Minato. Welcome to Konohagakure, if you please follow us to my office, we can begin negotiating for an alliance. Orochimaru. Please lead the way Minato-kun. I'm very excited to be back home and not worry about Hunter Nin. He said with an evil smirk. Kisame. Seems that it was a good idea for Leader Sama sent us as representatives. Ain't that right, Itachi? Itachi didn't answer as he was thinking about Sasuke, seeing if he's gotten stronger and if he should be ready to learn the truth of the Uchiha massacre. They began their way to office and passed by civilians and shinobis who were looking at the group with fear in their faces. Anbu are hiding in the shadows to make sure they're not going to try anything. The masked Violet Fox is also hiding and following them to report this to her master. They finally made it to the Hokage Tower or in his office, ready to talk about this alliance. Orochimaru. Now then Minato, please start this alliance and how will this benefit us? Minato. Size. Ever since that brat escape, we've been resorting to invasion against the other 4 villages. It began by attacking Iwa first, then Kiri, then Suna, but they all ended in failure since that brat fought for them. In Iwa, he has the Mokuton, Yoton, Bakuten, and Jinten Kekkei Genkei. Kabuto. The son of the Yondaime Hokage fighting for Iwagakure. Now that's something you don't see every day. He said with a smirk. Tsunade. Yes, next was that he fought for Kiri and was reported that he is a member of the Kiri no Shinobigatana Shichinen Shu. He wields the Nuabari and Kubakiribucho. He also has the Hayaten Kekkei Genkei. Kisame. Wielding swords that once belonged to Zabuza and that crazy skinny bastard Kushimaru. My, it seems there's another swordsman that might be able to keep up with me since he wields 2 blades from Kiri. Mangetsu was the who could wield all 7 blades, but wielding 2 swords is still pretty impressive. Jiraiya. He then fought against us in Suna. The elders were killed and now he has the Shikuden Kekkai Genkai also. They were so powerful that we had to retreat with major burns that won't go away for a long time. Orochimaru. Looks like Naruto-kun has gotten stronger. With all those Kekkai Genkais, I'll steal his body and become the most powerful shinobi in the world. Itachi. You have gotten stronger, Naruto-kun. I pray that you'll be able to bring peace into the world. Hopefully you'll be able to save Sasuke. Kabuto. Well, Naruto-kun, it seems that you have a big problem now. It's never a good sign when Orochimaru-sama is interested in something and wants it. Kushina. Our spies have reported that he's now working with Kumo. We tried to get more information, but we know that they won't report back alive. She said with disgust in her mouth since she never got over her experience with Kumo when she was young. Minato. There's also something we see when we attack the other villages. There have been reports of the other villages' shinobis. They wore masks that resemble some gods. We have photo of 3 of them so far since we're not sure if there's more. The guests were confused on what these things are. They've never heard of any strange masks other than the Shinigami masks of the Uzumaki clan. Orochimaru. I have no data on these beings, so I'm not sure on what to do with this situation. Itachi. Neither do us. We might have to report this to Leader Sama. Minato. I was afraid this will happen, so he have some of our best professors to try to discover these beings. In the meantime, we'll talk about negotiations. We will let Otogakure to merge with Konoha and become a bigger and powerful village. We can have an alliance with Omegakure and we let all of your Nukenin be pardoned of their crimes and be under our protection. The Akatsuki can have the Bijus and Orochimaru can continue his Kekkai Genkai experiments and can have all the bloodlines the brat has. Orochimaru. Tempting offer. Let me have time to think about this. Itachi. As well, we will discuss this with the rest of our organization. Minato. Of course. None of them noticed the violet fox disappearing to report this to her master. Naruto POV. It's been 2 months since the 4 of us left to the Turtle Island to train against Konoha and the Akatsuki. We met Fu along the way since she escaped from Takigakure due to them treating her like trash and she decided to join alongside us. The Raikage has messages that Lolo-sama was pretty much torturing the fuck out of our shinobis. They were able to become stronger, but they never met anyone crazier than Lolo. So Lolo came to train me and be in our lighting affinity. We discover that thanks to Lolo-sama, I have something rare than the black lighting the Sandame Raikage and Darui has. I have the Yukari Kaminari. Purple lighting. I was able to create new lighting jutsus with this rare unique form of lighting. I was also improving on the Rantan Kekkai Genkai due to my high affinities in lighting and water. Anyway, we managed to have an unbreakable bond with our Bijus and are currently resting and getting ready to get back to Kumogakure. All of a sudden, a summoned smoke appear and out came a purple fox with a Lolo mask. Naruto-sama, I found some interesting news about the new alliance with Konoha, AIM, and Otto. Naruto. Alright, please tell us on what you found, Zikatsune. Zikatsune. Minato is willing merge Konoha and Otto to become a big village with dangerous experiments. He's allowing the Akatsuki to be under his protection, meaning that get to do whatever that want as long as it benefits Konoha. Finally, he's allowing Orochimaru to take over your body if you happen to die in battle. Naruto. Sons of bitches takes out a dead deer and give it to her, thanks for the info Zikatsune. I'll report this to the Raikage. The summon took the dead deer and disappear in smoke. Lolo. It seems that Konoha's is full of hot air now. Naruto. So our assumption was correct. They are getting desperate. Fu. What's the plan now, Naruto-kun? Naruto. We head back to Kumo and talk to the Raikage about this. There we'll discuss a plan for them and hopefully kill one of them. The rest nodded and we began to head back to Kumo. The 4 of us are in the Raikage's office discussing the report I received from my spy summons to Raikage. We made it back quickly just in case there are any attacks. The Raikage is with us along with Darui and C. Raikage. Minato is becoming more arrogant to win this war between them and the other nations. He would go so low to recruit missing nins. Naruto. Yes, though the Akatsuki and Orochimaru haven't fully agreed to anything yet, so we still have time to think of a plan. Raikage. Yes, for now don't have anything to come up with, so you may all leave until we get further notice. Everyone agree and left to do their own things. In a megacure, no one POV. Inside of a dark room in the hidden rain, are 10 holographic figures in a circle with a light in the middle. Each of them are wearing a black cloak with red clouds. They are the Akatsuki and are currently discussing about the alliance with Konoha. This is really interesting. Yes. To think that it's only been 1 year since the return of the Yondaime Hokage along with Uzumaki Kushina, and their daughter Mito. Along with the Kyuubi brat, to escape from their village and is the reason why they're having so much problems, Now, those fuckers want our help. Jashin-sama would even laugh at them for being pussies. With working with Konoha against all the other villages will allow me to collect lots of bounties and get a free pass. A lot of money will be in my pocket. It also turns out that he fought for Iwa, Kiri, Suna, and is currently at Kumo. He also seems to have lots of Kekkei Genkai, thanks to him having all affinities. What do you think we should do, Pain-sama? Pain. Thinking. Let's do a trial run first before we agreed to this alliance. Sasori, Deidara, Kakuza, and Hidan, I want the 4 of you to head to Kumo and collect the Nibi, Hachibi, and Kyuubi. Kisame and Itachi, I want you request some shinobis as distractions while the Akatsuki handle the Jinchuriki. I want to make sure Konoha doesn't try anything. Itachi. High Leader Sama. After he said that, 8 of the 10 figures disappear, leaving Pain and the female Akatsuki member. Pain, what are we going to do about those masks that were reported to be living in Iwa, Kiri, Suna, and Kumo? No one, not even Zetsu, has any information on those. Pain. For now it's best to avoid those masks, Conan. Until we get more information about those beings, we won't show any hostile towards them. She nodded and both of them vanish, leaving a dark room with a mask figure with a Sharingan on his right eye. Kakashi is dead and Iwa has my left Sharingan. Looks like I have another reason to kill that Uzumaki. I would get it back, but with one of the masks living there I don't know if I could fight it including with my Sharingan. I need to find more information about them and try to find a weakness. He figured disappear using a spacetime ninjutsu. Unaware to the Akatsuki though, a certain water god is in the rainy village deciding to report this to his partner and hopefully claim this village as his own. Wah. Looks like I found the enemy's base, Naruto will like to hear this. Guess a Megacure will have a better god to worship. He then disappear. At Kumo. Naruto POV. I'm walking around Kumo getting some food after training with B, Fu, and Yugito. I was trying to find a place that wasn't ramen. Yugito-chan told me about your favorite sushi restaurant and I decided to go and give it a try. Wah. Teleports to me, Naruto. I found something you might find interesting. Naruto. Hello Wah-sama. What's the information you needed to tell me? Wah. I found the base that belonged to the Akatsuki group you mentioned. They are located in a megacure. The Rain in the village is actually a contact-type perception ninjutsu. It allows the user to freely manipulate rain infused with their own chakra. Naruto. That's a really amazing jutsu. No wonder it makes it harder for anyone to find their base, let alone infiltrate their village. Wah. That's right, unlike myself, the rain wasn't able to detect my energy. I was also there to hopefully get another village to be worshipped, so Mei-sama told me about the rainy village. Naruto. Looks like if I take care of them, I'll be able to convince the people to worship you as their new god. Wah. Sounds like a plan. There's also another problem though. Naruto. What is it? Wah. Before they agree to this alliance with Konoha, they want to do a trail run. They're sending 4 members and are requesting some of Konoha's shinobis as back, but mainly bait to handle the Kumo nins while the 4 members handle the Jinchuriki. Naruto. Do you know when they will come and attack? Before he could answer, we sense multiple chakra signatures in the sky. Lolo teleported to me as we look and see some white birds heading to Kumo. I narrow my eyes and I see 2 figures on a big white bird. They both have black cloaks with red clouds. One had blonde hair with slashed Iwa headband and another is a hunchback figure with a black cloth on his mouth. Naruto. Lolo-sama. Go and warn the Raikage about the intruders that are coming. Wah-sama. You should head back to Kiri, just in case they try to attack the village. Both elementals nodded and teleported to their destinations. Looks like it's time to face the Akatsuki, Kurama. They finally came out of hiding. Let's give them and Konoha a message. Naruto. Couldn't agree more. I then quickly ran to the front of the village and see villagers getting evacuated to the bunkers. I passed by a few shinobis who were getting ready for a battle. Deidara. Get ready to feel my art, He then sends lots of clay birds at the gates. Naruto. Hand signs, futon. Gofu no men. I release a wind bullet that repel all of the clay birds and shredded his left arm. Deidara. Screams in pain, damn, my left arm. Sasori. You shouldn't have been arrogant, Deidara. He then jumps and lands on the ground in front of me. Naruto. You're Akasuna no Sasori. S-rank missing nin from Suna's puppet brigade and known for creating human puppets. That's puppet you're in, is called Hiriko. Sasori. You seem to know a lot about me, Kyuubi Jinchuriki. How did you get this information? Naruto. I have someone infiltrate the Akatsuki's main base and aim. That rain jutsu your leader uses doesn't affect him. Sasori. Well, it doesn't matter, you and the other Jinchuriki will be captured easily. He then sent his tail at me. I quickly jumped back and summoned my metal gauntlets. Same one the demon brothers use, cause they bad as hell. Sasori sent the scorpion's tail at me, but I grabbed without getting a scratch and pulled it hard, removing the tail from the puppet. Hiriko shot a projectile and it opened, sending poison needles and shrapnel. I used my chain gauntlets and used them as jump rope at a fast pace to counter the small projectiles. Hiriko pulled down his cloth mask and fired more poison needles. I quickly jumped away from them since they're coming at high speeds. Naruto. Wind release. Wind slash. I swung my right hand, sending 5 wind slashes from my fingers at the Hiriko. He jumped away, but I ran at him with my gauntlets, infused with wind chakra. Wind claws. I did a powerful claw strike and broke the puppet, causing Sasori to jump out. Sasori. No one has ever landed at least a scratch on Hiriko. I'm impressed, but let's see if you can handle this one. He then brought out a scroll that has a kanji for 3, then activated, summoning another puppet that looks fairly similar to someone important. Naruto. Is that, Sasori? The Sandane case cage. That's right, it was I who assassinated him. He did give me some trouble, but it was all worth it in the end. Naruto. I need to be careful with that iron sand he's known for. It's time to send the Akatsuki a message, and it starts. With your deaths. I ran at Sasori with my claw gauntlets, while he sent his case cage puppet at me. The puppet brought out a buzz saw attachment and was swinging at me. I used the chains to handle the saw and it was working, but I see that it won't be able to handle it very long, so I need to think of something quick. Naruto. Lighting claws. I infused lighting chakra into my claws and they have a purple glow to them. I swipe at the saw and damaged it, make it useless. Sasori. Not bad, but let's see if you could handle this. He used his puppet skills and brought out retractable claws on his right arm. I look closely and see some purple liquids, which I confirmed to be poison. The puppet now ran at me at a fast pace. I quickly dodged its attack, but I need to find a way to escape it. I see the scorpion tail from Hiriko and use it to counter the claw strikes. The good thing is that I'm wearing the gloves so that it allows me to counter the poisonous weapons. I jumped back and infused lighting chakra into the tail, then hold it as I'm about to throw it. Naruto. Lighting release, lighting scorpion tail. I threw the tail at the puppet with high speeds. Sasori made it dodge, but the lighting tail destroyed its right arm, causing to burn into a crisp and the tail to puncture wall. I look at Sasori and see him getting a bit angry. Sasori. You're going to pay for harming my favorite puppet, brat. Senju Sobu. The third case cage puppet's left arm opens several compartments. These compartments have summoning seals in them, which calls forth a large number of long puppet arms. I quickly jumped away from the arms, but they seemed to be following me. Some emit poison gas, binding wires with a kunai anchor, and regular kunai. This is going to be a real problem. I won't be able to come up with an attack, since I'm too busy dodging. I looked behind me and saw a group of puppet hands all with kunai coming at me. As I'm getting ready to feel pain, a gush of wind came and broke through the arms, causing them to break. Lolo. You wouldn't start without me, would you, Naruto? He said as he appeared. Naruto. Of course not, Lolo-sama, just stalling until you get here. I'm not arrogant. Sasori. So the rumors are true. They're a mask in Kumo that has the power of air. Looks like I found a new specimen. I'll examine you to the bone. Naruto. I'm going to need to help. Rolls up left sleeve and see a kanji seal for long on my arm, Kachiyose no Jutsu. Nuabari. I brought out the famous sewing needle sword. Sasori. You're really a member of the 7 swordsmen. Wielding 2 of the 7 blades, which is impressive. Naruto. Thanks for the compliments, but we still have a fight to finish. Sasori. Agreed. He then sent more of the puppet arms at me. I quickly infused lighting chakra into my legs and ran at a fast pace with Nuabari. The puppet arms are digging into the ground. I quickly ran from the surprise the attacks, but they're still digging and rising out of the ground. Those arms are very long, meaning it has its weakness. I quickly ran around the arms with the Nuabari long wire. I tied the wires to the arms very tightly, causing them to stop. I pulled the wire hard, causing them to break and make them useless. Sasori. Seems that I need to improve a bit. He then a gesture and the cage's mouth open, releasing floating iron sand. Lo. You're going to be careful with that, Naruto. I see that the iron sand is mixed with poison. It gives them a more lethal edge. Sasori. Let's see if you could handle the cage's iron sand. Satetsu Shigur. The iron sand hardened into minuscule grains and send them to me. They are too fast that it's almost impossible to see. Naruto. Hand signs, futon. Gofu boheki. I created a wind wall to repel the iron sand attack. Once it was blocked, the sand went into the ground. This gives me an idea. I infused my Jishin chakra onto Nuabari and the iron sand was on my sword. I just need to find a good opening to throw it. Sasori. Satetsu Keshu. The puppet gathers a great volume of iron sand and compresses it into high-density shapes. The iron sand was turned into a large triangular-shaped weapon and a giant block-like weapon. He sent them at me, causing to run and try to dodge. The attack broke through a few houses and mountains, causing rock to fall. I keep dodging the iron sand and falling rocks, making it harder for me to destroy the puppet. Naruto. Hand signs, Doden. Ganseki Shuriken. I levitated the falling rocks and spin them like shurikens, then hurled it to the iron sand shapes. The rocks clashed into the iron sand, causing them fall and crashed, making a dust cloud. I use this chance to destroy that puppet. I spin the Nuabari into a spear stance, get ready to throw it. Once I saw my chance, I threw my Nuabari and it stabbed the puppet. Sasori was trying to move it, but the sewing needle sword had iron sand on it and makes it harder to even try to move the arm. I ran at it and jumped with my fist raised. Naruto. Bakuten, Jiraiken. Once my fist made contact with the cage puppet, I utilizes Bakuten Jutsu to subsequently generate an enormous explosion from the puppet's insides, obliterating the Sandane cage. All what's left was a head and the iron sand attack just fall down to the ground. I think to myself that this will be useful. Sasori. Now you made me really angry, Uzumaki. No one destroys my puppets and gets away with it. Guess you're going to have to face the most powerful puppet. Me. Sasori opened his cloak and lets it fall to the ground, revealing his body. It's not a human body, but a puppet body. He's equipped with a pair of spinning claws attached to his lower back, a holder for 4 scrolls on his back, a stinger in the empty and open stomach cavity, a compartment in his right chest, and a core of living flesh in the left, which had the kanji for scorpion painted on it. Naruto. My god, what are you? Sasori. I am Art of Eternal Beauty, he said with a crazy smile on his face. He then sends his stinger at me. I quickly had to dodge, but the cable is very long and equipped with poison. The stinger almost stabbed me, but I quickly returned Nuabari and brought out Kubikiribucho, then countered it. Even though I blocked the stinger, the cable is still very deadly. I jumped on the wire and hop over Sasori to try and find a weak spot, but I see some spinning blades on his back coming at me. I maneuver my body and got out of the blades, but got a cut on my cheek at the process. The good thing is that there's no poison on it. The cable went at me, but I infused wind chakra onto Kubikiribucho and cut the cable, making it short and useless. Sasori brought both his hands up and a pair of pipes appear in the middle. A second later, he fired powerful streams of fire at me. Naruto. Hand signs, Sweden. Suijinheki. I spit a stream of water and made it rise upward to create a wall. It create a huge cloud of stream. Wind release, air bullets. I shoot multiple bullets of air and once the steam cleared out, the air bullets almost hit Sasori. Sasori. You should be honored to last this long against me. I'm going to have to reveal my trump card. I used this to take down an entire nation. He removes one summoning scroll from his back. He then opens his right chest compartment to emit more than 100 chakra strings, which reach into the scroll. From the scroll, more than 100 puppets wearing red cloaks emerge. Akahiji. Hyaki no Soin. Lo. My, that's very impressive. One finger can control 10 puppets each. You're among superiority of the puppet technique. Sasori. I appreciate the compliment, but I have a job to do and I hate to keep others waiting. He then the horde of puppets at me. Naruto. Hand signs, lighting release, purple fox. I created a large purple lighting fox and sent it to attack the puppets. I ran behind it with Kubakiribucho and cut down some puppets. The puppets are coming at me, many with weapons, so I need to think on how to handle them. I look to the ground and see some iron sand on the ground. I used the lighting fox as a magnet and had its body covered in iron sand. I gave it more chakra and the fox grew bigger. Naruto. Iron fox. The fox then ran at the puppets and exploded, destroying a few, and the iron sand was spreading and covered a lot of puppets with it. Thanks to this, the puppets are having trouble moving. A big fuck you to all Uchihas, Kaden. Goka Mekyaku. I expelled fire chakra from my other and shaped it to a sea of flames, destroying all the puppets, leaving Sasori alone. Sasori. I have to admit, it takes some serious guts to destroy all of my puppets. I'll make sure to pull those guts after I'm done with you. The pipes on his hands then began to spew jets of water. I dodged and see the water made a clear hole behind. He then began to twist his wrists and condense the streams into water jet cutters. I quickly duck from a line of water and look at the house behind me being cut in half. I use the rocks as cover, but a few seconds later it gets destroyed. I went behind a big rock and see the metal scorpion tail that's still on the wall that still has some iron sand. This is my only chance to defeat him. I created some chakra strings that are infused with lighting and wind chakra and had them connected to the tail. The metal scorpion tail had purple lighting and sharp wind edges at the tip. The rock is about to break, so I'm going to end this. Naruto. I owe Kankuro an apology. Let's finish this, Sasori. I spin around and disconnected the chakra strings and watch as the air-infused tail pierced the core and sent him into a wall. Sasori was wide-eyed as blood came out of his mouth despite being a puppet. He's about to die from his own design. Sasori. I can't believe this. You managed to defeat even with little skills in puppetry. Smirk. You have my respect, Uzumaki. Naruto. Same here, Sasori. You became a powerful shinobi with unique skill and you came from a struggling village. You became a legend even if you're a missing nin. I was honored to be your last opponent. Sasori. Thank you, Naruto Uzumaki. Before I fade away, I want you to deliver my body to Suna. This will ensure that Suna will never be looked down upon others. My art is eternal after all. I nodded as he was now silent. I did a small prayer since even though he wasn't human anymore, he still had a soul. Before I sealed away his puppet body, I took his left thumb ring, that a kanji for jewel or sphere, and put it on my left thumb finger and sealed his body away. I look up and see Deidara retreating from Kumo and is mostly likely head to aim. I decided to head back to the Raikage's office. Hopefully Yugito-chan and Fu-chan are alright. Naruto POV. After dealing with Sasori and Deidara escaping with one arm, I was at the Raikage's office with the other three Jinchurikis, Lolo-sama, Team Samui, Dodai, and while Genins and Chunins are helping civilians rebuild the village. There weren't any casualties and only some buildings were destroyed. I'm glad that Fu-chan, Yugito-chan, and Killer Bee are still safe and uncaptured. Raikage. I'm glad you're all safe, especially you four. What's the report of the attack? Naruto. Apparently, the artists duo were planning to drop clay bombs trying to create some chaos in the village. Dodai. That attack was used as a distraction. Konoha nins were trying to sneak into the village and try to attack some of our shinobis while the Akatsuki handle Naruto, Yugito, Bee, and Fu. Naruto. The good news is that Sasori has fallen in battle. Shows the ring on my left thumb. This was my trophy and his puppet was delivered to Suna. A. Good work. Is there any updates involving the Akatsuki right now? Lolo. Ho ho, yes we do. My water brethren has informed us about something really exciting. B. What would that be yo? Lolo. Their main headquarters. It's in somewhere where we least expected. A megacure. Laughs. A. That village has been locked down after their civil war with Sanshuo no Hanzo. No one gets in or out alive. Naruto. The leader has an amazing sensing jutsu that blends in with the rain. He can sense who goes and who is the enemy. A. That's really a good jutsu, no wonder no one has ever tried to sneak in. Lolo. That's right, so my brethren and I have decided on something. Yugito. What's that Lolo-sama? Lolo. Laughs, we're taking over a megacure. After he said that everyone was silent expect me. Fu. Lolo-sama are you serious? Lolo. That's right because we have a secret weapon. Naruto. The elementals. Lolo. That's right, Naruto-kun and you're going to wear us. Naruto. We're using that tactic already? Lolo. Of course, the faster we get rid of them, the fast we rule the rainy village. A. Wait, rule the village? What are you saying, Naruto? Well to put it in terms. A megacure will have a new leader. You're looking at Naruto Uzumaki, the Nidame of a megacure no Sato. After I said that, everyone was wide-eyed at my statement. Thunderstorms were forming outside as a dramatic scene. A. Are you serious? Naruto and Lolo. Very. Darui. You're planning on invading a hidden village by yourself? That's too much for you to handle alone. Naruto. You don't know this but all 4 elementals can rival all of the 5 main hidden villages and not even the Bijus couldn't defeat them. There was a reason that they were sealed away many centuries ago. Lolo. Besides, in order for us to unite it against that leaf village, what better way to meet up than at a village that spies can get in or out? Plus we all agreed to share on something, which never happens. Usually when we argued, there's a land or more destroyed. A. Alright, so you're really going to go through with this? Naruto and Lolo. Yeah. Lolo. The invasion of the rain begins on Monday. It gives us time to train before we destroy. I'll meet up and discuss this with the rest of my brethren. Meet me at the gates the next day. He then teleports away. Samui. Naruto-kun, are you really sure about this? Naruto. I need to do this, Samui-chan. The Akatsuki are in alliance with Konoha. They are a major threat, besides we're doing everyone a favor. We all want the Akatsuki gone and this will be major cut through Konoha's strength. You are right about that. I guess if this is your decision then I'll respect it. Though, I thought that you wanted to be Hokage as a child. Naruto. That dream died when I found out that everything I was told was a lie. I'll still be a Kage, but it will be from a village that has been treated as something unimportant. I will shape a megacure in my own way. Close my eyes. Konoha goes down and aim takes its place. Opens my eyes, showing the room my new Kekai Genkei. The upper left corner has flames going off. The upper right corner has dirt moving in circles. The lower left has icy water swirling. And the lower fight has a thunderstorm striking. No one's POV in aim. In the rainy village, we see at least 9 figures in a cave. All are in holographic forms. Discussing the past event that occurred in Kumo. Deidara. And that's the report, he said with anger. Pain. I see. Such a shame that Sasori has fallen into battle. Hidan. Who the fuck cares, if he died then he was weak. Kakuzu. Shut up Hidan. He was still a comrade. Not only have we lost a member, but our spy network is completely weakened. Kisame. We still have Zetsu though. Zetsu. Thanks for the compliment, Kisame-san. But I'm still one man. Conan. What are the whereabouts of his reign? Deidara. That damn Kyuubi Jinchuriki has it, Pain. Then the sealing process will become more slower since 2 of the rings are now missing. Kisame. Speaking of one of the rings, we could still recover one of them, since he was a member of the Akatsuki. Conan. You mean Orochimaru? Itachi. Yes, we have some news regarding the Snake Sanin in Konoha. Kakuzu. What would that be? Itachi. Konoha and Otto are sending the Sanin here to aim to improve our strengths. Orochimaru will bring some powerful jutsus and his reign, Jiraiya will bring some Fuinjutsu to strengthen our defenses, and Tsunade Senju will notes on medical jutsu and scrolls for taijutsu. Pain. Good. This will give us time to heal until we're ready to get the Jinchuriki. We will all fight the Kyuubi Jinchuriki together. Fighting him alone will lead to deaths. This meeting is over. One by one, the figures disappear. Once it was empty, a red eye was glowing in the dark. Toby. You won't win this time, Uzumaki. You and those masks will feel the wrath of Madara Uchiha. The Mugen Tsukuyomi will be complete. He then disappear in a swirl. Completely unaware of 4 masks outside of the tower and in the village. Rock-ko. This is the main village for the Alliance, huh? It's so wet and rainy. Wah wah. That maybe, but with Naruto and us taking over, it will become the most powerful village in the nation. Pyro. Well then, we should get ready then. This village won't get conquer itself. Lolo. Ho ho. Can't wait for the fun to begin, boys. All of them then teleported, getting ready for the destruction of the Akatsuki and the conquer of Omegacure. With the Sannin in the crossfire, then this will be a battle Naruto and the elementals will remember. I'm here at the gates of Kumo, getting ready to head to Omegacure with Lolo-sama and the rest of the elementals. I managed to spend some time with my friends in the village, and even special time with Yugito, Fu, Samui, Karui, and Mabui. Thanks to training with A, B, and Lolo-sama, I managed to master my wind and lighting chakra. Now I'm getting ready for my upcoming battle against the Akatsuki and the Sannins. Lolo. Okay, are you ready to go? He said as he teleported to me. Naruto. Yes, let's go. The sooner we kill them, the sooner we take over AIM. Wah wah. Well then, let's not waste any time. Rock-ko. Time to show them who the boss is. Pyro. Alright Uzumaki, let's show them our wrath. We then teleported to Omegacure. Your time has come Akatsuki, and so have you godparents. In Omegacure no one POV. Inside a cave, 8 holographic figures are in a circle with a lantern in the middle, all wearing black cloaks with red clouds. Pain. Has the Sannin arrived yet? Zetsu. They're almost here. They've just gotten to Aim no Kuni and will be here in about 2 hours. Pain. Good, with their assistance, the Jinchurikis won't be much of a problem anymore. Deidara. Hopefully we can kill that fucking Kyuubi brat, Kisame. Smirks, true, but we will have to wait since he's supposed the last to be captured. Itachi. He also seemed to have gotten stronger thanks to those masks that were reported to be in the other hidden villages. Kakuzu. Him hopefully, he isn't too arrogant to come here alone. Hidan. Peeved please, that fucker doesn't have the balls to come here alone. Conan. Though, it is a mystery that none of us known about these elemental masks. We don't know how much power they possessed and to defeat them. Pain. We'll see when the times comes. Oh believe me, it's sooner than you think. Said an unfamiliar voice. All of the Akatsuki members looked at Sasori's old position and what they saw was the one they were hunting for. The Kyuubi Jinchuriki is there with his rare elemental eyes glaring at all of them. Pain. How did you find this place, Kyuubi? He said with his ki rising in order to scare him, which didn't work. Naruto. How do you think? He then showed them the ring that once belonged to Sasori. Deidara. You got some nerve to be here, Gaki. Naruto. I'm more closer than you think, Deidara. You just have to find me. Hidan. Show yourself, fucker, so that I can offer you to Jashin-sama. Naruto. Then come outside, and feel the wrath of the elementals. He then disappeared. Itachi. Wrath of the elementals him? Pain. Let's go everyone. Then all of the disappeared leaving a red Sharingan in the middle of the dark. Toby. You finally come Uzumaki. Now let's see if you can stop me. He then disappeared in a Kamui. Naruto POV. As I open my eyes, I'm on the outskirts of the hidden rain, so that I won't hurt any innocents in the village. Since I'll be taking over this village soon, I wore an outfit that matches the environment of AIM. I wore a blue AIM headband, a blue sleeveless shirt with white horizontal lines, similar style pants, with black closed boots, blue and black gloves, and a gas mask. I also have an umbrella open protecting me from the rain while looking at the sky with a smile on my face. I sense my 4 companions teleport behind me with smirks on their faces. Rock-ko. They're coming. Naruto. Smirks evilly. Let's show them your wrath. They nodded and disappeared. I look to the front and I see the 8 members are running at me with full speeds. I just look at them with a smile on my face. Once they got here, they were all in battle stance, while I just remained calm. Naruto. Seems that you guys are serious. It's such an honor to have the entire organization to fight against me. Pain. Why are you wearing an outfit that corresponds to my village? Naruto. Well, if you must know, once the Akatsuki is finished and with you gone, I plan to take over AIM as my main village. It's time that Omegakure has a new leader, that will bring his village to greatness through willpower instead of fear. Pain. How dare you question my leadership? He said in anger, which made the Akatsuki shock since he's always so calm. Naruto. Oh, struck of a nerve did I? Deidara. You talk too much. He then threw some C2 clays birds at me. I just calmly use my umbrella to shield me from the explosive clays, creating a cloud of smoke. Once it cleared out, I spin the umbrella and lean it back covering my head from the rain. Naruto. I guess you're right Deidara, the time for talking is over. I close the umbrella and put it behind my back. The elementals then appeared behind me, making the Akatsuki silence and shock. Conan. Are those the masks that were reported? Naruto. That's right my dear, meet my trusting companions the elementals. Kisame. No matter brat, you still won't be able to defeat us. Naruto. We'll see about that. Let's begin. Rock-ko. Let's show them the power of the earth. The rest of the elemental flew up to see the fight. Rock-ko then attached himself to my face. The ground then began to cover me, creating a large rock ball. I bounced and created a mini earthquake. I then began rolling at high speeds straight at them. They all jumped back and split up. I turned back and began rolling again. They began throwing jutsus at me, but thanks to Rock-ko's hard rock armor, it just bounced off. Hidan being the dumbass ran at me with his scythe raised. Hidan. I'll kill you in the name of Jashin. As he brought down his scythe, it broke on impact, allowing me to run him over. I stop rolling and jump out of it, leaving a big ball of earth. Naruto. Hand signs, earth release. Rock golem armor of the earth god Rock-ko. The rock behind me began to mold and shape into a bigger and rocky version of Rock-ko-sama. Once the face was created, it swallowed me causing me to merge with the earth elemental power. The giant Rock-ko was now crumpling and in the middle was me in a rock golem form. I stomped my foot and created cracks that appeared around Hidan. The crack broke and Hidan was falling down to his doom with fear. The ground then reformed and I look at the remaining 7 members. Naruto. Do you still believe you can beat me? I then began throwing hard and sharp-shaped rocks at them. They all dodged, but are still nervous about my new form. This isn't going as planned. Naruto POV. After throwing some sharp rocks, they quickly split up. I went after Deidara first since his clay explosions will be an annoying problem. He began throwing C1 clay birds at me, but thanks to Rock-ko's energy, my stone golem form can handle them. Naruto. Those pathetic things you call art won't hurt me at all, mad bomber of Iwa. You should just surrender and we could work something out. Deidara. Fuck you Kyuubi. My art isn't pathetic. Let's see if you can handle this, C2. He used both of his hands to create a dragon made out of clay. He got on it and fly up high. The dragon began to spit small clay figures and fire them at me. Naruto. Doden. Doryuden. I raised my foot and stomped it at the ground, creating 3 mud dragons. The mud dragons open their mouths and fire mud balls at the dragon. Some of them managed to hit and destroy the small clay projectiles. The rest of the mud balls were hitting the clay dragon. Deidara maneuvered it to avoid more damage, but the right wing already had too much damage. Before going down, Deidara had the dragon produce a lot of small explosives landmines. They were everywhere. One more and everything in the area blows up. Deidara. Ha, you're now invulnerable Kyuubi Jinchuriki. If you move then boom. I guess I'll make you move, Naruto. Doden. Dosakiryu. I punched the ground, causing the earth to rise underneath them, releasing a wave of dirt. He was shocked as the landmines are being swept away from the mudslide. Deidara jumped to avoid the mines that were beginning to surround him. The mines were now underneath the mud, not knowing where they are. Deidara. What, damn you. Hand signs, Doden. Mogaragakure no jutsu. He then uses chakra to turn the ground into sand and digs through it, trying to escape and meet up with the rest of his comrades. Naruto. You won't get away from me, Deidara. Just remember that I tried to warn you. I stomp on the ground and the mines that were in the earth were now activate. A second later, all the mines exploded, creating a large smoke cloud. Thanks to Rakuko-sama's armor, it didn't affecting me at all. Once the smoke cleared out, there was nothing more than a big deep crater. No traces of Deidara, so I assumed that the crazy idiot is dead. I took a step and I felt something under my foot. I looked down and see Deidara's right arm. I pick it up and took his ring, that had the kanji for blue or green, and put it away while crushing his arm. I then head to my next target. The other member of the zombie combo, Kakuzu. Before I made my way to him, I deactivated Rakuko's sama armor and he went off my face. Rakuko. Why did you took me off, kid? Naruto. I need you and the rest of the elementals on this one. Kakuzu is known for stealing hearts thanks to his kinjutsu, the Jango. It allows the hearts to form their own bodies made of blank threads. I want the four of you to handle them while I fight Kakuzu. Rakuko. No problem. He then flew up high to inform the other elementals. While he does that, I use my senses to find Kakuzu's chakra. Once I found it, I quickly went after him. In a few minutes, I see him waiting on a medium-sized rock surrounded by water since it's still raining. Kakuzu. Your bounty is pretty high, Uzumaki. Naruto. So is yours, Kakuzu-san. Kakuzu. HMPH. Before we begin, we both agreed that whoever loses, winner takes their bounties, he said after taking off his cloak. Naruto. Agreed, I said after I tightened my aim headband and took out my umbrella. Kakuzu released his threads, resulting in a long-ranged form. A body of tendril was behind his back and his arms are wavy from the threads that are connecting it to his body. Threads also sew to be coming out of his mouth. The masks from his back detached from and the threads are used to create a monstrous form with the mask as the head. Before they could attack, the elementals appeared behind me. Wah. Heard you called for backup, Naruto. Naruto. Hi, Wah-sama. Pyro. We'll handle those rip-offs of us. Lo. Ho. Let's show them the real power of our element. The elementals went after their similar element mask while I'm facing Kakuzu, who's still in his long-ranged form. Kakuzu. So those are the elementals, they would look good on my back. Naruto. Sorry old man, those will kill you the second you touch them. Kakuzu. Too bad, guess I'll have to take yours. He swung his arms at me. I quickly ducked and jumped since those threads are like parasites. I opened my umbrella to block a punch and jumped back. Naruto. Wind release, air bullets. I fired multiple wind bullets from the center of my umbrella and at intense speed. Kakuzu quickly jumped back to avoid the air bullets, but one of the wind bullets hit him in the chest, sending him to waters. He quickly did some hand signs. Kakuzu. Kaden. Zukaku. He had his fire mask stop its battle with Pyro-sama and fires a small fireball that erupts into a giant firestorm after making contact with the surface, causing widespread fires. Naruto. Sweden. Daisusen. My umbrella fires water that forms into a drill in the firestorm. Normal water would have evaporated by now, but thanks to Wah-sama's power, even a pool water matches the velocity of an ocean. The water drill came out of the fire still unevaporated and into Kakuzu's right arm. He tries to reconnect it with the threads, but the arm was already too useless, so he lets it sink. He gets madder, so the threads are now covering his right arm. The tacky missing nin sends his thread-covered arm at me. I channeled lighting chakra onto my umbrella and opened it to block the punch. Naruto. Lighting umbrella. I hold my umbrella facing Kakuzu and cocked it like a long-range weapon. Once I opened the umbrella, lighting bolts were released and it connected to Kakuzu's right arm, paralyzing his arm. I closed it and opened it again, shooting a lighting bolt straight at his chest. I looked and see that the water mask Wah was fighting broke apart, meaning that I destroy one of his hearts. He's now more pissed. Kakuzu. Kimen no Bakuin. The fire and wind masks merged together to create a powerful blast of intense fire. I opened my umbrella to protect myself from the intense flames. Pyro and Wah quickly transfer some energy onto my umbrella. The fire was dying down. Naruto. Boil release, boiled water bullet. I cocked back my umbrella and opened it, shooting a boiled hot water bullet at Kakuzu's chest. As he holds his chest in pain, I see that his fire and wind masks are destroyed. He only has his water and lighting hearts left. Kakuzu. Raiden. Gion. The lighting mask emits lightning in the shape of a spear from its mouth and sends it at me. I opened the umbrella again and blocked the lighting attack, but it's pushing me back. Lolo went behind and transfer his air energy. Naruto. Futon. Gofu no Men. Lolo releases a deadly wind bullet that repels through the lighting and straight into Kakuzu's stomach. He jumps back to recover, giving me time to unleash my final attack. I put my umbrella behind my back and raised my hand, and a Rasengan is created, but I'm not done yet. Lolo's transfer his energy onto the Rasengan, and now there was sharp wind shuriken blades around it, and purple lighting was forming around the rotating sphere. Naruto. Air release. Rasen shuriken of the air god Lolo. I threw the shuriken Rasengan straight at Kakuzu, and once as it was heading his way, the Rasengan and the wind shuriken blades grew bigger. It made contact with the missing nin, taking him up to the sky, and it exploded, creating purple lighting and heavy wind around the area. Once the explosion died down, only Kakuzu's head and left arm remained. I sealed away the head to get the bounty later and took his ring, putting it away. I then head to my next opponents. Sorry Teme, but I will steal your ambition and rub it in your pathetic face. Naruto POV. After taking care of Deidara and Kakuzu, I then head to the second strongest pair of the Akatsuki. The elementals are behind me, since I'm going to need their help against Itachi and Kisame. I'm not cocky to think that I'll be able to handle them alone. I found them at the other side of the rain village, both waiting for me. Kisame grins, do you really believe that you can defeat us, Kyuubi Gaki? Itachi. It's best for you to give up, Naruto-kun. Naruto scoffs, the destruction of Konoha is already too far for me to give up, fools. I'll take over this village and bring it to the top as the strongest village in the nations. Konoha will be destroyed by my hands, and everyone, especially your little brother, will die. This angers Itachi a bit. Kisame takes out Samahata. We'll see about that, Gaki. He then ran at me with shark skin. I brought up my umbrella and blocked it. Pyro summons a huge fireball at Kisami's back, but it was countered by Itachi's fireball jutsu. Itachi. Let's see how strong these elementals are. Lolo. Ho, look at this, boys. Another Uchiha, and a strong one too. Rock-ko. Finally, a strong Uchiha. Pyro. Let's see if you can handle my fire, Uchiha. As they battle Itachi, I was having a sword fight with my umbrella against Samahata. I can that it's trying to eat my chakra, but I have a seal on my body that stops anything from absorbing my chakra. It then begins to wiggle. Kisame. What's wrong? He said in concern. Naruto. It can't absorb my chakra because of this. I then pulled down my shirt a bit, and he sees a kanji tattoo for shield on my neck. I came prepared knowing that Samahata will eventually try to absorb my chakra. I put my umbrella behind my back and pulled out a scroll with the kanji for sever. It glowed and out came out Kubikiribucho. Kisame. Oh, so the rumors are true. You are wielding Zabuza's sword. Let's see if your kenjutsu is stronger than that Gaki's. He then ran at me and swung. I quickly parried it to the left and kicked him in the chest. I then ran at him, swung to the left. He quickly brought up Samahata and blocked it, but it pushed him back a bit. Kisame now increased his speed and is swung faster and harder. I managed to block many of his attacks, but I still cut some cuts. Thinking quickly, I create a clone, and it was holding Nuabari. It first ran quickly and starting swinging. As it distracts the tailless Biju, I run up to the clone's shoulder and jumped, ready to swing while my clone gets ready to impale him with a lighting chakra-covered Nuabari. Kisame had no other choice but to block the swung of Kubikiribucho and got himself stabbed from Nuabari. As he is getting electrocuted from the lighting, I quickly swung at his stomach, creating a large gash. He then jumped back and was panting a bit. Kisame. I was right. Your skills in Kenjutsu does surpasses not only Zabuza's, but also that crazy skinny Anbu Kushimaru. I guess you are worthy of wielding 2 of the 7 swords, but too bad for you. His wounds are getting healed thanks to Samahata. I was the strongest member before my defection, and no other swordsman can beat me. Naruto. Wheel about that. Once you died, I'm returning Samahata back to Kiri, so that the next generation can wield it. Kisame. Then come at me. Kyuubi, hand signs, Sweden. Suikoden no Jutsu. He created a shark made of water and it was heading for me. Naruto. Hand signs, Raiden. Lighting fox jutsu. I created a fox made of lighting and it head to the water shark. Both jutsus cancelled each other out, and Kisame jumped out of the smoke and swung Samahata. I quickly brought up Kubikiribucho and stopped as we look eye to eye. Kisame. You might as well give up Uzumaki. No other person in the nation has ever beat me in Kenjutsu. He said with smirk. Naruto. Every person has their weakness. Your arrogance and pride are the major one. Though, this is your final moment, monster of the hidden mist. Kisame. Oh, and why is that? He said with a smirk. Naruto. Rule 1 of Kenjutsu. Always be aware of your surroundings. This made Kisame raised his eyebrow in confusion. Before he could respond, he felt his pain in his heart. He looked down and saw a thin blade sticking out of his chest with blood on it. He then realized that he forgot about the clone with Nuabari. He believed that Samahata will heal him, but he felt a burning sensation. Kisame. Screams, what's happening? Naruto. I did research on how you can heal many wounds no matter how serious they are, so I did some experimenting and I added some chakra on this. You should known this Kekai Janaki, since other of the many things to get hurt is then, hot water. Kisame. Boil release. How? Naruto. Thanks to the elementals, I have all chakra elements and sub-elements. You should have never gotten cocky, Kisame. That's why people like you will eventually die. Kisame was now on his knees and dropped Samahata. I ended him with Kubikiribucho and sliced his head off. I picked up his ring and sealed away his head to collect his bounty. I then look over to Samahata, who is saddened about her partner's death, but it knows that it's the life of a ninja. I went next to her and pat her head. She seemed to enjoy it, so I just calmly grabbed her hilt and was happy that I didn't get stabbed from her shark fins. I put her on my back then head to the Uchiha, who was getting tired from fighting the elementals. I quickly teleported near him and kicked his chest sending him away. Itachi. Based on seeing Samahata on your back, I assume Kisame is dead. Naruto. That's right and you'll soon be join him, Itachi. I'm sure you're exhausted from battling the elementals, so please just admit defeat and we can negotiate so that you can work with me. I understand that you were loyal to Konoha, but they used it against you. It was your biggest strength, but it was also your biggest weakness. Itachi. That may be true, but I was loyal to Konoha to this day since I was actually a spy for the village. I need to make sure that Sasuke kills me to bring a new light and honor to the Uchiha clan. Naruto. Scoffs. New light and honor the Uchiha clan. Your clan caused many problems throughout history, that there was no such thing as honor in your clan. You did everyone a favor and killed them, but you took pity on your brother that it changed him. He's not the same one boy you knew. Quote, Itachi. I believe him in that, he'll do the right thing for the clan. Naruto. Well then, I guess you made your choice. First you, then Sasuke. I will finish what you couldn't do. Itachi. We'll see about that, Naruto-kun. Activates Mangekyo Sharingan, Tsukuyomi. I look into his eyes and now I was under the illusion. I open my eyes and I see that I was chained to a cross and everything around me was dark. Red sky and black floors. In front of me was Itachi with a sword. Itachi. You can't escape from this, Naruto-kun. In this world, I'm God here. For the next 72 hours, you will feel nothing but torture and pain. Not only from me, but many else. More figures began to appear around me. I see everyone from Konoha with weapons. Civilians, other ninjas, my ex-friends, my ex-teammates, my godparent, and finally my birth parents. I'm screaming in pain as I'm getting hurt from many things. After what it felt like an eternity, the figures finally disappear and Itachi is in front of me. Itachi. Only 71 hours, 29 minutes, and 55 seconds to go. He said in an emotionless tone. Damn this fucking Uchiha. I was in pain all my life, I'm not doing it again. Guess, I'm gonna have to that. Naruto. You know something, Itachi. Throughout time, many people want those pathetic Sharingan since the thing people want is to copy jutsus. I will always see them as the Rikudo Sennin's greatest failure. But I guess, close eyes, they do have their uses. Especially up against another Uchiha. I opened my eyes and Itachi was now wide-eyed on what I have. Itachi. How do you have the Sharingan? That's right, I have these worthless eyes. Naruto. I have fox summons as my spies all over the world. Those in that worthless village managed to find a secret vault filled with extracted Sharingans. After I killed Danzo, I transported his body as he was getting ready to use his Urishisho Fuin and destroy everything around him. He was near the Uchiha vault and that pathetic seal activated, destroying all the Sharingans. Although, I did told them to get this person's eyes since I knew it would be a major tool when I fight you and your shit brother. Itachi. Whose are those? He said in anger. Naruto. Oh, don't you recognize your own mother's Sharingan? Or perhaps her Mangekyo Sharingan? I said as the Sharingan began to spin and now I have the Mangekyo Sharingan in the shape of a lotus. Itachi. How dare you? I will kill you. He then ran at me with the sword. Naruto. Genjutsu, mirror eye. As he looks into my eyes, everything switch place. Now I'm free and Itachi is chained to the cross. The scene around me began to change into the Uchiha's compound and all the Uchihas are alive and just going about their day. Naruto. Did you like the genjutsu I created, Itachi? It can switch with everything, no matter how powerful they think they are. Now, you will begin to feel pain. Not physical, but emotional. Enjoy the show. I then disappeared. The sky was now blood red as the Uchihas are looking up on what's going on. It then begins. 4 masks are in the sky looking down on the soon-to-be dead people. Lava is coming out of ground, ice balls are being formed around, the earth began shaking and cracking, purple lighting are striking the ground. The Uchihas are screaming in fear as they are being burned alive, frozen to death, dying from the earthquake, and being struck by lightning. Itachi is now gasping in shock as he's hearing his clansmen scream in fear. Uchiha 1. Help. Uchiha 2. Why are you doing this? Uchiha 3. Who are you? Uchiha 4. Minato, is that you? I'm walking around killing all other Uchihas with Kubikiribucho. All men, women, and children are being struck down with my blade, but with children I just chop them with my hand so that it won't be painful for them. Naruto. Hand signs, Kaden. Kasumi Enbu no Jutsu. I create and blow a flammable gas from my lungs and spread it around the clan's ground. Since there was fire everywhere, the gas ignites into a large firestorm. Everything is now burning. Itachi-kun, help me, said a female voice. Itachi then looked to his left and sees a girl running to him. It was Uchiha Izumi, the girl who loved him and he loved back. The girl he regretted to ever kill. He sees her wounded and scared. Itachi. Izumi-chan, he said in a desperate tone as he tries to escape the chains. I was walking behind her with Nuabari and had the wires around my arm. I stitched the wires around her arms and legs as she screams in pain. I jumped back and pulled the wires, making her scream as she's being forcefully pulled. Itachi. No, get away from her, he said in anger. Naruto. She is really beautiful, Itachi. Too bad, you already did the deed. I impaled her heart with Nuabari and she falls to the ground dead. I then jumped away and I see his family. I impaled his father and stabbed my hand into Sasuke's chest, where his heart is. I then made my way to Makoto. Makoto. Itachi-chan, help me please. Itachi was now struggling to get out the chains fast. Itachi. No, Ka-chan, I'm coming. Naruto. Raised Kubikiribucho asterisk. I'm sorry, Makoto Obaa-chan. I brought down the blade as she screams. A second I did that, we suddenly went back to the real world. Both of us are panting as aim was now beginning to rain. Itachi was now looking at me with tears in his eyes. Itachi. I will kill you, Kyuubi. Susanoo. He then created the Uchiha's famous Susanoo. Naruto. Guess, I need some help. Wa-wa-sama, now. Wa-wa. Roger that. I was quickly covered in energy and began to grow as tall as the Susanoo. Wa-wa then attached himself into my face and now my body was turned into suspended water. 424 to 450. Naruto is Crunch in water elemental form. Naruto. You won't win, Uchiha. We're in my domain. The Susanoo brought down its sword, but I blocked it with a sword made of ice-cold water. I pushed it back and I swung my right hand, creating green energy wave. The Susanoo was hit and it caused some damage. Quick think, I summoned ice balls from sky to rain down. Itachi had the Susanoo's shield protect himself from the attacks. It worked, but he sees that ice is beginning to spread around the shield. He quickly got rid of it, but was distracted from a water attack which caused some more damage. Itachi. Amaterasu. His Mangekyo Sharingan was now formed as he created black flames at me. I quickly gathered energy waves around me and pushed forward, creating a large tsunami behind me to counter the flames from the sun. A large cloud of steam was created once the black flames and tsunami made contact. Without giving him a chance to rest, I formed a green energy ball and threw straight to Itachi's direction. The steam began to clear and I see Itachi on the ground with his Susanoo being deformed. I then had Wawa detach himself from me and I walked to the down Uchiha. Naruto. Brings out Samahata. It didn't had to be this way, Itachi. Your decision had left you delusional, putting all that hate onto Sasuke's shoulder. Now look at you, dying from my hands and your sickness. Itachi. Sasuke will bring light into the clan. Then, he will kill you. Naruto. Not unless he dies from my hands. Goodbye, Itachi Uchiha. You and your brother will soon be together along with your clan in hell. I brought down Sharkskin, beheading him. After returning Samahata on my back, I sealed away Itachi's head and his Yasaka bead necklace away, then picked up his ring and put it away. I then looked to my last direction and headed there with the elementals behind me. The god and angel of aim, along with the masked Uchiha, will soon be dead. I'm running to remaining Akatsuki members with the elementals behind me. This will be my biggest challenge yet since I'm facing a Rinnegan and Sharingan users while the woman wields a strange but effective bloodline. I get into the battlefield in a matter of seconds. Immediately in front of me were 6 figures, all have orange hair, piercings, and the Rinnegan. A purple hair woman with paper wings, and a mask member with a hole on his right. The field was just a wide area of water outside the rainy village. Pain. So those are the elementals we received reports about. Wielding elements of fire, water, earth, and air. They look very interesting. Pyro. My, look at this, boys. A user of the Rinnegan. We haven't seen those eyes since the time we battle against the Rikudo Sennin. Now, how did someone like you receive them? Pain. I awakened them when I witnessed the murder of my parents. The killers were shinobis from Konoha. When I felt pain, I awake the eyes of a god and kill those shinobis. I created the Akatsuki to create peace through pain. Naruto. We may have similar goals, but instead of bring peace through fear, I'll do it by destruction. That pathetic village has been causing too many problems through history and it's time for someone to take care of this. Conan. That may be true, but with us it needs sacrifice to achieve eternal peace. That's why we hunt the Jinchuriki, they will become our pillars to peace. Naruto. There's no such thing as eternal peace. No matter what, there will always someone disrupts this peace. I plan to have peace for as long as I can for the future generations. Konoha is the major problem for peace. Once that village is destroyed, AIM will take over and show them that even something small can achieve power. Toby. Then work for us. Toby is super strong to protect you. He said in his disguise. Wah. Drop the act, we know who you are. Naruto. That's right, Uchiha Obito. All were silent. Toby was also stiff and silent until he slowly put his hand onto his mask and slowly pulls it down, revealing an Uchiha with his right side all crushed and scared up. Obito. How do you have that, Uzumaki? Naruto. When Kakashi showed his Sharingan, I had my fox spies do some research on who his friend is. The name Obito Uchiha was found. Confirmed dead, yet body was never found. Sharingan on his left eye and Sharingan on your right. Uchihas tend to never have someone else have their Sharingan taken or else they'll whine about. I also sense the chakra on his Sharingan and it matches yours. Not that much of a mystery, but would ever answer people's question on who's the masked member. Obito. Guess it won't matter once I kill you and control the elementals you have. Rokko. Ha, pathetic Uchiha. Those weak eyes can't do anything to us. Naruto. Agreed. I ready my umbrella. Once I kill you, I'll give the old Tsuchikage the other half of the Sharingan pair. Pain. Let me show you Pain, Kyuubi. Him along with his 6 paths, Konan and Obito charged to me. Naruto. Joro Senbon. I spin my umbrella into the air. As it spin, it released the combined thousands of senbon, which are covered in Kyuubi's chakra. The senbons went through Obito and Konan used her paper wings to fly away from senbons. Pain. Shinra Tensai. He unleashes a repulsive force, pushing away the senbons. Naruto. Cocked umbrella. Sweden. Sweden no jutsu. I shot a big water bullet from my umbrella. One of the pains got in front of the water bullet and absorbed it. Another pain twisted his arm and pulls it, revealing some projectile weapons. The path triggered it and they were heading for me. Pyro shot some lava rocks and destroy the missiles. Konan. Kami Shigur. She used her paper wing to launch a multitude of paper in rapid succession at me. Naruto. Hand signs, Mokuton. Mokujoheki. I activated the roots on the floor with chakra and they grow to wall dome to protect myself and the elementals. Alright, I need information on those 6 bodies. What do you guys know about the technique? Pyro. The main one the user controlling is the Diva path. It grants the user the ability to manipulate and forces with objects and people. The advantage is that it cannot be performed in rapid succession. The amount of time required to recharge after use varies depending on the scale of the technique used, 5 seconds being the basic minimum. Rock-ko. The next one is the Asura path. Grants the user the ability to augment their own body to summon mechanized armor and various ballistic and mechanical weaponry. It can be destroyed from a big direct attack. Wah-wah. The next one isn't a big deal. It's the human path. It grants the user the ability to read the mind of any target by placing his hand on the target's head or chest and yanking the soul out of the body. Not much trouble unless you get caught. Low. Now the animal path. It grants the user the ability of various animals and creatures to aid it in battle. They don't require a summoning scroll or blood sacrifice. Always helpful. Kill it and their defense weakens a lot. Pyro. The next one is a difficult one. The Preta path grants the ability to absorb chakra in any form. We need to destroy that one immediately. The advantage is that it only absorbs chakra, and since our powers aren't chakra, our attacks will handle it. Rock-ko. Last one is the Naraka path. It's mainly used for interrogation and restoration. Its abilities is using the King of Hell and him as the priest. The main problem is that he can restore the dead paths back to life. Both him and the Preta path must be taken out first. Naruto. Got it, let's go. Hand signs, Mokuton, wooden arrows. I pushed my hand on the wooden dome and on the outside, sharp arrows are being launched and I'm out of the wood wall. Pain. You may have the Mokuton Kekai Genkai, but it's useless against a god. Shinra Tensai. The wooden arrows are launched away from him. Naruto. Then let's see if a god can handle this. Hand signs, Yoton. Fox biting Crimson Lotus. I used Pyro's powers and combine it with my Yoton chakra to create a wave of magma, shaped like a fox's head with fangs, and launches it against the pains. My plan was starting to work since the Preta path was arrogant enough to get in front of the attack and spread his arms out. The second he touched the attack, it was over for him. The lava fox burned the path alive and into dust in the matter of seconds. All were shocked seeing one of the paths be turned into nothing. Now the Naraka path won't be able to revive him. That reminds me, Naruto. Holds hand up, even a god will fall to a mortal. Air style. Rasen Shuriken of the air god Lo. I created a small Rasen Shuriken that is covered in sharp winds and purple lighting and threw it. Since I'm in the rainy country, the weather began to go a bit crazy that the villagers in AIM were hiding in their homes. Lighting was coming down and it struck the Rasen Shuriken, making more bigger until it was the size of a building. It was heading to the Naraka path, but the Diva path was in front of it. Pain. Shinra Tensai. Fool. I secretly added chakra strings the spinning air orb and swung it changing direction to the Naraka path who was too slow to react. Once it made contact, the Rasen Shuriken grew larger and consumed the priest for the King of Hell. A minute later, no traces of the Naraka was left. Naruto. Seems like your path can't stop someone like us, God of Aim. Konan. Kami Shuriken. The Angel of Aim created a barrage of paper shuriken and threw them at me in a fast pace. I quickly opened my umbrella and shielded myself from the sharp papers. I then hear one of the other paths, mainly the female one, began to speak. Animal path. Hand signs, Kachiyose no Jutsu. She slammed her hand down, creating a huge smoke cloud. Once the smoke cleared out, in front was a giant multi-headed dog with brown wild fur, Rinnegan eyes, and a black receiver struck through their heads. Naruto. Shit, I might as well need your help. Ready Kurama. Kurama. Always Kit. Naruto. Hand signs, might as well even the fields. Kachiyose no Judas. Kyuubi no Kitsune. I slam my hand down to create a large smoke cloud. The smoke cleared out, revealing the Kyuubi in all its glory. He roared loudly that the waters began creating large waves. The people of AIM looked outside and saw the Kyuubi. All were in awe on seeing the strongest Biju. In their small village no less. Pain. My animal path has even more allies than that. As soon as he said that, the animal path did more summoning jutsus. Now she summoned a giant drill-beaked bird, a giant snake-tailed chameleon, a giant panda, a giant ox, a giant rhino, a giant crustacean, and lastly a giant centipede. Naruto. Guess I'll need some assistance. Lolo-sama, help Kurama please. Lolo. Ho ho, of course my foxy friend. The air mask quickly went in front of Kurama and changed its form to match Kurama's face. Once Lolo was attached to Kurama, his entire body began to change. First, his red-orange fur began to turn purple. Then his legs were becoming smoke and now he's flying. His red eyes are now green and lastly his tails are now shaped into smoke trails. This gives him a genie-like appearance. 7:17 to 9:48, and instead of Crunch, it's Kurama. The Akatsuki were now wide-eyed at seeing a new form of Kyuubi. Kurama summoned lightning from the sky and struck it to the centipede and crustacean, instantly killing them. He then used his right hand and shot a laser at the panda, which sliced it in half, dispelling. Naruto. Hand signs, I need to get rid of the animal path. Shikuden. Sun Cutter. I encase my right hand in wind and fire chakra, creating a fiery blade. I quickly channeled chakra onto my legs and ran to the animal path as it's distracted. The female pain was a second too late to react and was struck in her chest, burning from the inside. As the animal path goes down, the summon's animals all disappeared. Kurama quickly summoned balls of purple lighting and threw them at the Akatsuki. The diva used his almighty push, while Konan was maneuvering her wings to dodge them and Obito was letting them go through him. Unfortunately, the human path was struck and brought down. The Asura path threw away his cloak as he now has 3 faces, a large blade as a tail, and 6 arms. It now flying at me with the mechanism on its feet. It swung his sharp tail, but I quickly duck and as I'm under the puppet machine, I infused lighting and earth chakra onto my hand and swung at his chest. Naruto. Bakuten, Jiraiken. Once my fist made contact with its chest, the entire body exploded. Nothing but broken parts was left. Pain. You're really making me angry, Kyuubi. Guess it's time to take matters into my own hands. Kurama threw more lighting balls and I ran at him with a blade in the middle of my umbrella. As we're close, he used his almighty push and repel both me and the attack. I quickly landed on my feet and tried to think of a plan. I need something to killing while it recharges its attack. Just 5 seconds. All of a sudden, I felt myself being pulled to the diva path. Wait, the distance is shorter by a second. I need to end this. Naruto. Hyeten, Ice Rasengan. I quickly created Rasengan that's infused with ice chakra. As I'm near him, I quickly slam it into his stomach, which did a lot of damage. That 1 second saved me from the attack. I quickly finished the body by stabbing his heart with a blade hidden from my umbrella. Obito. Kaden. Enden, the now unmaxed Uchiha, sent a fire bullet at me. I quickly opened my umbrella and shielded myself from the fire jutsu. Once it died down, I quickly cocked back my umbrella. Naruto. Cock's umbrella. Sweden. Daitapodama. I fired a giant water bullet at him. Obito. Fool, I'm untouchable. The water bullet went through him. You might as well give you awe. He was then burned from his face. Pyro. Don't forget about us, Uchiha. He along with Wa and Rock Ko fire more elemental attacks. As he dodged and some go through him, I was quietly sneak behind him. I silently pull a sword from the bottom of my umbrella and waited. A second later, my strike. As a earth attack went through him, I stabbed through his, making him wide-eyed. How someone like him was dying. Obito. How? I'm unstoppable, he said as he's dying. Naruto. You're just like every other Uchiha. Prideful and arrogant. You've been calling yourself Madara Uchiha, but in reality, you're just a little boy fulfilling his ancestors' shoes and believe that you're actually him. Say hello to Kakashi for me in hell, while your precious Rin-chan is in heaven. I then beheaded him. Kurama was now shrinking down as Conan is flying to a certain location in the village. Kurama. What should we do about the woman? Naruto. We'll go after her later. Since the Akatsuki is pretty much defeated, all that's left until I could rest is take care of those three. I said as I pick up Pain's ring and some of his chakra rods for something useful. Wah wah. What about their spy, known as Zetsu? Naruto. He'll show up soon. Not much of a fighter, but still can't handle some seals I'll place in the hidden rain. Lo. Let's end this since they're here. We nodded as Kurama dispelled. I then headed to the front gates of AIM. THSTA all for now. If you enjoy then please like, share and do comments.